Attack left lane.
I have to just keep running at people.
No.
How in the fuck?
Attack the Gold Fury.
Alright, that's awkward. I'm not gonna lie, that is awkward.
Group up.
You know, you just press the buttons and people die, honestly, right now.
Oh, you're fuzzy woozy. Let's not hurt them too bad. Let's make them scream!
Enemy ultimate down! I don't mean to brag, but yeah, I'm pretty good. Split push!
Howdy, folks. Welcome to Split Push. It's a Smite podcast from the console perspective with some PC sprinkled in here this week, along with a special guest, and you know, Dan's still working on a little bit here too, but this is episode 26. I just realized we've been talking to you folks here for half a year now. So, along with me here tonight, first up, it's my buddy Yuki.
Hey, what's going on?
Alright, and we got Guy.
What's up, friends?
Oh, throwing a little dicey throwback there, huh?
Hey, there we go.
And we got Beagle Girl.
What's up?
We got the fangirl himself tonight, Dirtnap Dan.
That's me. You guys have been here for half a year and you're still listening. What's wrong with you?
Oh, well. But our very special guest here this week, a pro player of extreme extraordinaire, the jungler himself. It's Weak3n.
What's up, guys? I like that extreme extraordinary.
Extreme extraordinary.
I just opened my mouth and let come out of that happen, so.
Oh, we noticed.
It sounded good this time.
All right, I'm doing good. All right, not getting too old yet, just yet. Yeah. So, hey, Weak3n, you know, we always kind of let our guests, you know, introduce themselves a little further here, kind of, you know, tell the audience, you know, who exactly you are, you know, what your, you know, affinity here is for Smite and so forth, you know. So, hey, the stage is yours, my friend. Have at it.
Alrighty. My name is Weak3n. I've played Smite since I think it was still like a little bit before the closed beta, like the beta. My friend got us in. Didn't really play it. Started playing in closed beta, like serious, and made it into the pro scene by grinding the ranked ladder, which then in turn I started streaming, which then made me start doing YouTube. So I pretty much do everything now. Content creator, hit every platform possible while also playing competitively at a pro level.
That's so awesome. Living the dream, man. Living the dream.
Every day.
I know. I see it every day because Dan's watching it every day. That's why.
Hey,
that's why I said the
at least somebody
himself
watches
here, man.
It's your fanboy.
Oh, yeah,
right
I'm always kept up.
Hey, I need the fans. I need you to keep up for me to be able to do this. It's huge.
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, it's all part and part. You know, some of us, you know, like you have put the time in to, you know, to get to that pro level, which is, you know, it's not easy. That's a lot of work. You know, I mean, we see it ourselves in just our progression that we're going through and, you know, going from, hey, we're okay at this game to, you know, we're getting a little bit better, and it starts throwing us against better people, and it's like a whole new game. It's like, oh, it's like there is now level 0 again.
Yeah, it's almost like a
Yep.
a boss, like a new boss every time if you look at it that way. There's so many new things to learn at each level. The jump from like top ranked, from like Grandmaster's rank to pro level it's nothing similar. There's no similarities. It's crazy.
Yeah. I can't even imagine. I mean, I'm just going from that bronze mentality into the silver mentality right now, it feels like. I haven't played a lot of the rank conquest because I got so many friends here. I'm always playing with people. So, you know, we just kind of casual it up. But I have been getting into ranked joust a little bit more. And I've actually kind of taken up an interest here the last couple weeks over doing duels. And speaking of which, talking about our games of the week here, I'm going to kick things off with a duel, 2 duels that I had here. As I've been taking Izzy in. She's one of my early gods that I really learned the game a lot with and then kind of got away from. So I've wanted to get better at her again. So I'm like, you know, what better place to get better at a god than in duel? So taking her in here. And at first I played against a Chernobog. And it was a fun fight, but I had the upper hand pretty much the whole time. And you know, nothing really special happened, but it was a good solid win. He played a good game, but, you know, I just don't think his ult was the best thing for duel. And, you know, that kind of gave me a slight advantage there, I felt. But then it was the next game. So I'm in the bans and I get down to my final ban and I'm looking at what they banned and I'm like, shit, do I ban Freya or do I ban Chang'e? And I'm like, it doesn't matter. Whoever I ban, it's going to be the other one. So I'm like, well, who's the worst out of those two? I'm like, you know what? I'll ban Freya. And of course, it was Chang'e. And it was a very good Chang'e, like a lot of followers Chang'e. And we get into this fight, and the whole match, the entire length of it, she's not really beating me, but I'm making small mistakes. And every small mistake I made, whether it was a mispress of a button or just whatever, she took advantage of it and killed me. I died 9 times.
Oof.
But I never felt like I was out of the fight. Like, even when I died, she was not in a position to truly take advantage of it. I'd beaten the snot out of her every time we fought, but she basically just, again, couldn't press the issue to the next level when she got the kill. And then I'm putting the push on, and I'm like, I can take Phoenix here. I know I can. I pushed her off, made her go back to Fountain, and I took the Phoenix, and I'm like, you know what? I can keep at this. And I went after that Titan, and she kind of ducked it out once. I had to go back in, came back out. I went 0-9 and won the match. Could not believe it. It was just one of those, It was a good match. It was actually a 23-minute victory. So, long, hard-fought match. But again, just goes to show, man, sometimes you got to go with that feeling. Like, I knew I wasn't losing that game the whole time. It was just like, she's beating me, she's killing me. But I got faith in myself right here, and I rode that to a victory. And, that was a lot of fun. But speaking of a lot of fun, we played an arena the other night to close out the night. And I was streaming, for a little bit, and just wanted to kind of just take like a chillax. We've been playing Conquest, I think, all night. And, let's just play an arena. I broke out Kukulkan. So no one's picking any gods. So I'm like, yeah, I'll go with Kukulkan. Pick Kukulkan. Waited a little bit, locked in. And then what's the next thing that happens? Someone calls Mage. I'm just like, I don't really care if you want to play a mage, but, I'm still going to play Kukulkan. I'm still going to build stacks, and I'm going to outstack you because I'm Kukulkan. And he locks in as Anubis. All right, not a big deal, right? And then we also got a Hades. And there we had a Medusa, and Dan accidentally picked Tyr, which was kind of funny.
Accidentally?
Yeah, accidentally.
That game was a total ball ache.
But the only thing I really want to talk about in this game is the beginning. I call out, I need a jungle buff over at Blue. I get some OKs.
Even Anubis said okay, by the way.
Yeah, we kill it. Anubis cuts me off and steals it. And I just flapped there. Like, you fucker. I'm like, you know what? This is one of those games where I just want to flap on back to the fountain and sit there for a little bit. But, no, that's not who I am. So I just flapped out to the center. I don't even think I used my roll run right away. I just waited out there. And then the rest of the team comes out. Anubis engages the 5 of them. All 4 of us just stand there until Anubis died. And then the Hades laughed, and we all laughed, and we went to town and had a pretty good game. We ended up with a very close loss in the end, but it was a real fun game, and the Hades was just awesome because he was just like, yeah, dude, that was a total dick move. And Anubis got his Book of Thoth built way before me because I think he went straight into it. And I came out, he had like 15 stacks when I got mine. Dude, I still outstacked him. Mine was so complete and he wasn't even halfway done. I'm just like, dumbass. Like, you should know better. But anyway, had some fun with that game. Had a Sylvanas support where in the middle of the game, I'm just like, wait, did I just get a triple kill? Like, what the hell? You guys ain't doing your jobs. I'll just throw my dots out there, and shit's happening. But, 2 other games and then I'll pass it on here. One it was me, Beagle, and Dan in a joust. And it was a game where we were put against some people that weren't quite as experienced as us in the game. And, when you're against those people, nothing against them, but you really got to show that you have more experience. And you got to show that I'm not going to struggle in this game. I'm going to kick their ass a little bit. And I played this Artemis. I'll tell you what, I have never used my root so successfully. I was on point with where I needed to put it. They had an Arachne that was playing aggressive. I'm just like, oh, honey, you picked the wrong hunter to get aggressive against. And, I went 8-0 in that game. That was a fun one. But the only other moment here, we were playing a conquest, and I was playing Soul Carry, and we had our old host Dicey playing some Nija support. And it was a good game.
He loves that wonky shit.
Yeah, he does. Good game, but this team fight broke out like right on the edge of duo lane jungle, and I was kind of out ahead, clearing minions, and I'm like, oh shit, this is a little early for a team fight, but hey, shit happens. So I turn around, and all I see is Serket weaving her way straight to me, full health, full mana, and I'm like half health. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, I threw my ult out first, straight towards her and kind of back to me. So she's coming in, boom, gets knocked up in the air. I hit my 3, I get my 1 off, I get my 2 off. She's dead, and I'm just back to safety of behind my team, and then we had at it. So it was just one of those great moments where I'm just like, oh, I'm probably dead unless I can pull this off. And it was one of the moments where I actually pulled it off. So high five. I was appreciative of that, because we've had some back and forth games this week. We played against some tough people, and even actually last night we played against a 4-man team that beat us, and then we had to play them again.
I do not want to talk about it.
And they beat us again, but it was a much closer match the next time. I'm like, why is it I'm always playing against these tough games when I'm not playing my comfort pick gods, and when I'm always playing one of the gods I'm either trying to get better at or haven't played in a while. And it was both those games. I'm just like, but anyway, how about you, Weak3n? You have any good games here recently this week?
Man, I've just been grinding ranked, and usually ranked and good games don't go in the same sentence. But over the course of the last week, all my games have actually been very enjoyable. I don't know. I haven't really grinded ranked or cared for, I'd say, like 2 years. So it's a different experience, and I'm having a ball on Smite. It's literally the most fun I've had in Smite since I first started playing, I think.
Yeah, the character flex as far as what roles they can play has been really. It's on one hand, it's been really obnoxious because it's like you're playing solo lane and you're like, what the shit is this thing doing in the solo lane? And you have to figure out how to play against people in solo or the other positions you've never had to play against in that role before. But at the same time, you're like, yeah, I'm definitely taking Baron into the jungle this game because why not?
Yeah, you've got the double-edged sword. You've more fun for you, but more difficulty in trying to figure out who you're playing against and how to beat them.
Yeah.
Actually, one of our goals we were talking about the other day is like, we want to pick a traditional team, one of each class, and then put them not in the right roles at all.
Yeah, and you can do that, and it wouldn't even be a weird game. Everyone would be like, oh, all right, here we go.
Yeah, it's always fun when you're looking at that load screen and you're like, okay, it's going to be, wait, they don't have a support, so who, okay, maybe that. No, okay, maybe that. Yeah, definitely that. And then you load in and it's like Baka, and you're like, okay.
It's like Artemis
who's jungling then? Wait.
Yeah, they got Baka mid, and what? Who's jungling? Like, oh, okay, yeah.
Artemis jungle.
No,
Well, we talked
Nemesis
about
mid.
last week, Beagle and I in duo lane against a Cabrak and Ares combo.
Oh
I
my
think-
god, I felt so bad for that Ares. Like, I mean, he
They
tried,
didn't pull
but
it off too well.
failed miserably.
But yeah, so where are you at ranked wise these days?
I think I'm like 200 points off of Grandmasters. I'm chilling around Masters with like 100 games played.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, I can't fathom the conquest grind. I mean, being a working man, family of 5 and, a bunch of pets and, all that fun stuff and running a podcast on top of it all. It's just like, I think I can find some time to do some ranked play with some joust with some friends or some occasional duels. But, the conquest grind is just, it is a daunting one at times.
No, yeah, there's a big learning curve that everything's changing a lot. And I feel you on like joust and stuff. There's nights where, I don't know, Cyclone will hit me up and be like, let's just play joust because you don't have to try as hard. You're kind of just playing around with each other. You're not focused. It's a good time.
Yeah. I've actually found that I do better if I actually think that I've lost the game. So we were playing a game this week. It was a joust, and we were just getting our stool pushed in. It was bad. I'm just like, well, 5 minutes in, like, this game's over. We lost this.
It's because I didn't play
playing. Yeah. Well, I was playing Odin, who I have Diamond, but haven't played him forever. And at one point, I'm just like, we're like 15, 20 minutes in. I'm like, this is like a tie game. I'm like, what the hell happened? These guys were like kicking our ass, and I'm out here running in circles around them, literally. They had a Cupid at one point that thought he headed me off at the pass, and I literally just ran in a complete circle around him and dodged everything and then just ran out of his ult when he tried that. I'm like, yeah, sorry, buddy. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I find that when I let go of I have to win to have fun, and I'm just playing the game to have fun, and especially in a joust like that I end up playing so much better than if I'm stressing over it. So
yeah, you remove all the pressure from yourself, and then you're just having fun. You're kind of trolling, and that's kind of like a comeback mechanic almost, where in your head there's no way you win a game. One thing goes right while you're having fun, and it just becomes that much more fun.
Yeah, well, we talked about that last week. We were having a bad time in joust, and I trolled with the Ymir in the jungle, and he trolled back, and then we're like, high five, he joined our team. And it was a 4-on-2, and we won the game then.
Oh my god.
He literally joined our team. He was attacking his own Phoenix with us. The respect.
He even walled his own Sasano off in the Bull Demon area with Dan and I, which made me laugh.
That poor Sasano was trying so hard, too.
He was. Oh, but anyway, Dan, how about yourself here? How's your games been this week?
My games have been very up and down, but I have a couple of decent ones that I want to talk about for sure. One I had just played 2 hours ago, and I went 16-3-11 as Mercury. And it was a tough one. We started off way behind. Like, within the first 2 minutes, it was 0-3, and the lanes were all pushed. And I was like, oh my god, another one of these. But, we started pulling back, and it took me 25 minutes to die. I'm not going to lie, I was pretty happy about it, because everyone else was falling like flies. And it was mostly because their Mercury, it was Mercury on Mercury in the jungle, and their Mercury focused completely on ganking, while I focused like, okay, they're ahead, there's nothing I can do to help my lanes right now. I'm going to farm and take the ganks where I can get them. And I ended up like 7-0 level 20, while their Merc was like 6-0 versus, or 6-3 maybe with level 18. And I'm like, bam, I win. And then I just ran through their whole team, ended up 16-3. It was really fun. Guy was in there. He was kicking ass too. Yuri, as always, kicking ass. He put a clip on our Discord. That's what it's called.
Eventually, I kicked ass. That Mercury just, oh man.
Oh yeah, he really liked the
taste of
your blood,
mid lane
man.
over. Just stayed there for the first 10 minutes of the game. He was just
yeah. He really liked you. But Yuri put a funny clip up on Discord where I dashed into the Mercury and he wasted beads and tried to dash out, but he had just enough health that Chalk Ult killed him as he hit the edge of the Chalk Ult, which was awesome.
Was he trying to hearth back to Fountain when you first went in?
Yeah, when I dashed him, he was trying to back. I'm
like, what? That was the stupidest place ever to back. I'm like, is that really what I saw? Because that to me is like when I'm playing Raw and you think that, backing right behind the tower is the right place to do it.
Oh, he wasn't behind no tower. He was sitting on the front of the line. That's why I was like, oh, give me that ass. I even had to kind of alter my build that game because I felt like I needed certain things to outdo that Mercury because he was getting all the kills and because they had a Medusa Aphrodite tier Baron. Like, most healing, stupid composition ever. But I knew, like, okay, if I take Toxic Blade, I'm literally going to do no damage because I want crit right now because I need to just crit their fucking face off. And so I actually started Deathbringer instead of going Rage, and then I went Poison Star so that I could keep up with them and give my team chances to keep up with them as well during the team fights and reduce their damage output. And that ended up winning the game because I can't tell you how many times I boxed their Mercury and made it out with like 200 HP, and I was like, thank you, Poison Star. Thank you.
Yep.
Another good game I had, another Mercury game. Whoops. Seems like I play Mercury a lot. 19, 2, and 4. I just walked right through them the whole time. There was an enemy Thanatos that he tried his best, but he would ult me, scythe me, and then I would just 3, 2, he's dead. Okay. Bye. Moving on to the next. They had an Opwash who was super immobile, so like he was dead all the time. The only really annoying thing on their team was a damn Neath ulting me all the time. Can't do much about that though.
Yeah, she seems to have been making a resurgence here as of late.
Yeah, well, when you can Heartseeker proc somebody for half their health bar, everybody thinks you're a pub stomp god. Been playing, as Dirtnap said, playing a lot of Joust, and I main Hui really hard on Joust, because man, I can hit some sick bounces on Joust. Super easy too. Oh my god. I can't tell you the amount of times I've hit triple bounces on Joust and just stood and like just looked at their corpse like
Have you yet intentionally done the bounce it off the wall, off the tower, off the other wall, and hit them from behind? I think you just totally whiffed.
Oh no, my favorite is when they stand in between the tower and the wall, and they're like, "Oh, he can't triple bounce me here," and I bounce it perfectly off that edge of the tower, so it just goes in straight back and forth, and they die, and it's like, that felt good.
Yeah, I've seen a few people get deleted like that.
Yeah, oh man. My favorite was an Amir. He was really, really aggressive. He blinked in, froze 2 of us, and started charging his ult. And I insta-beads, turned towards the wall, straight, like, you know, there's the triple bounces where there's the angles, but then there's just that straight line triple bounce that you can hit. And straight lined right through him 3 times. One-shot him with the bounce Heartseeker, and his ult never went off. Oh, it felt so good. I was like, yeah, no. Can't be that aggressive on me, bud.
Yeah, there's some certain death traps in there in Joust. Like, we had a guy, a Poseidon that thought, hey, I'm going to attack out of the red buff area the whole time. Like, that's going to be my signature move. It was just like, oh, Poseidon's in the death trap again. Do we want to kill him again?
Yeah, I remember that guy. The poor guy. Shout out to Guy's son, Herg. I've been playing so many games against and with him, even though like he hasn't even been in the party or anything.
Oh my god.
The one day it felt like every game had him either on or against our team. And
it was 3 games.
3 games in a row, that's what it was. He was doing really good, too. He definitely kicked our ass in the one. Shout out to that when he played Raban and just destroyed us.
Yeah.
That was fun,
you know what game I want to hear, though, from you, Dan?
Yeah, what's that?
I want to hear about your Kumba carry.
Oh, my God. Okay, so Dirtnap is obsessed with Kuba, because Kuba's so much fun.
He's my big guy, man.
And
he's my big buddy.
I'm sure if you've listened before, you know that I played a Kumba mid game and fragged out on his Zeus like it was nothing. The poor guy went 0-7 against Kumba, but we'll let him go. Not enough torture for him. So me and my buddy Dicey, he's Cupid support, and I'm Kumba carry. Full damage, no tank, just full Kumba carry. And we're against Uller Geb. And I'm like, oh man, this is going to go so badly. Like, how is a Kumba carry going to beat Uller? Well, I'll tell you. I would blink in, knock him up with my ult. Cupid would drop his ult underneath, and then I just time the 2, hit him with the 1, boom, Uller's gone. And, you know, Geb was just like, oh, you rock. He didn't know what the hell to do. And, you know, it didn't matter if Geb shielded, tried to knock me up because I was in my 2. Like, get out.
Got a couple airmails in there too, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. Airmailing the Cupid Bomb minions to get a free stun on Uller so I could ult him for free. Oh, yeah, we played that really well. But then my team fed their brains out in mid, jungle, and solo. So we ended up losing really badly. But yet, I took top damage and died the least as Kumba carry. And I was in the fights all the time, trying desperately to carry the shit out of them, but whatever. Some people you can't save. Like assassins that like to 1v5. They're my favorite. They're like, I'm this guy, I'm a god. Goes in 1v5, gets one shot, and it's like, what was your plan? What was your real plan there? And sometimes you just really don't know. And you never will.
Yeah. How about yourself, Yuki? I know I haven't seen you much this week.
Work's been interesting lately. It's been a disaster, so I haven't been playing much. Most of my games are from a day, but we do have managed to get a couple that worked out really well. Played an arena, and that was me, Dan, Yuri, Guy, and that was my good buddy IRL here, Twisted Clown, playing Damage Odin. Guy, I believe you were doing the whole support Hera thing, trying to pretend that that's a thing. And
it's not.
I was like, I need to play a hunter. So I go and play hunter. And I go play Huyi. And those poor kids, we gave them the short end of the stick. Worked out really well. We'd played an arena before that. Before Guy had joined his soul. Yuri, who's some really good Serb plays, Serb solo kills. Dan was getting picked on by the Pele as Scotty.
Yes, but
this
in
Pele,
the end, it was not for her. She couldn't handle.
And then the last one, which I thought was really fun. This was one of those games where this was the same with your Merc game. Same game. Then they were just crushing us early. My buddy Bacon wanted to play Neath, somehow ended up locking Shivalankwe, so here we are, but I was kept brief.
Just kind of like Dan misclicking on the tier, right?
Yep,
yeah,
something
I wanted
like
Sun
that.
Wukong, and it's like, tier. Like, no!
Yeah, but we got our dual lane. It was kind of rough at first. They got a couple of kills. We got everything situated, and I'm like, screw it. I'm going to go off and give as many people hugs as I can. And it was like, just sit here and do your farmy thing. Every once in a while, he'd be like, hey, you guys need me to come over? We'll be like, yeah, head on over. It was a little bit of a sloppy game, but we got down. We weren't communicating very well, so I started just shouting out calls, what we should do, what we needed to do. And we pulled that one back. And then very much same, that clash, Dan. That clash.
God. Clash is such a fiesta.
Yeah, we ended up winning. They were at our Phoenix. If I'm not mistaken for that one.
Oh, they were on our Titan.
Yeah, they were on our Titan. And we ended up pushing that one back for a win. So those are definitely the best. Chernobog, not as good as I was hoping in Clash. But that's probably just me.
Clash is definitely a fiesta. I'll give you that.
Oof. Clash is a thing. And that's it for this week.
All right, Beagle. What do you got for us?
Well, I did find one game. I mean, nothing like amazing happened, but I played support for once. Not in a conquest. Like, I played the Guardian in a joust with Dan and Dad, which I was actually kind of proud of because we actually won the game. Winning a game with me as the support is very rare because I'm horrible at it. I played Athena, went 2-0-9. It was... Oh, that's right. That game was only like 8 minutes because, who left? Somebody left the game.
Oh, we made one of them rage quit. I forget who it was, though.
I think it was the Morgan?
I think you're right there.
I think. I was just proud of myself because I played support and won.
Oh, yeah, that's when I was playing Artemis, too.
Yeah. And Dan was Hera. Yeah. And then I've recently been playing Medusa in the carry lane, and wow, there are games where I just destroy people, and there are games where I just suck. And that game, one of those games where just me and Dan were playing by ourselves, everyone else was at work, and that was one of the games that Herg was actually on our team, and he played as my support, and we bullied the Sobek and the Cupid. Like, wait, was the Sobek support? Yeah, it was. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just hilarious. I went 9-2 and 10 that game. Like, even though we weren't talking on the mic, we were using VGS, and we still just destroyed them.
Yeah, I didn't need to babysit their lane. It was a much better experience than when we're losing.
He has a pretty good support. So, yeah. But that's really all I got. I don't really have anything big and awesome that happened recently.
High five. Taking the humble route, much like our last person up here this week. Saving the best for last. It's Guy.
There you go. Well, about the same old, same old. Been playing a lot of mid lane as usual. I've been actually using Weak3n put out his top 5 mid laners, mages. I believe it might have been last week.
Yeah, last week or the week before.
Yeah, so I already played Opwash is my favorite god anyway, so I've got like 9 stars on him. So I've been using your build on him and on Vulcan and on Rajan. Rajan's my new favorite god. But
yeah, you've definitely been kicking ass as Rajan.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, good games, bad games. As we've been getting better, our competition's been getting better. So I've been getting picked a lot more, so I need to be more careful about that. But other than that, that's
I've
about
noticed
it.
like the more we go up, the more Guy just gets camped out his ass.
Gosh, I know it's horrible. I want to give a shout to Dicey, who had his first pentakill this week.
Oh yeah, high five on that, Dicey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, congrats, Dice.
But yeah, it seems like the mid lane becomes the slaughterhouse of the next tier up for us. Thank you, Guy, for taking that role away from me.
Oh,
yeah, I mean, there's just always like 4 people in his lane, and I'm like, why are they still there? Like, I'm the jungler, and I'm like, what? I just killed them. What are they doing there? But nope, they just sit there and kill Guy on cooldown, and I'm like, I can't even get my speed buff and get back to you in time to save you anymore.
We have taken advantage of it, though. We tend to win the outside lanes then, and,
oh, well, you better.
That's right. I'll just take it for the team, boys. I'll take it from the team.
There is one game here, Weak3n, that I know we wanted to bring up here. Dan pointed out and made sure I seen this one. He said you're a really good jungle, but apparently you're not a carry.
Not a carry.
That YouTube video.
Oh my god.
Man, sometimes you play other roles and just get your ass handed to you, like no matter what.
I
have to ask, why the Bloodforge instead of a stacking item?
That's what Cyclone does at competitive level. So
Really?
I literally just like I'm the same as you guys. There's times where I don't know a build, it's like I have to look it up. So like I'll go on like Smite Pro builds and see what Pro's been building in real games, and that's what he builds.
Yeah.
I like how
Pro
jungler. What's your excuse? I'm doing what the pros do.
Yeah, exactly. I just copy everyone else too, man.
All right, we'll let you go on that one.
I'll tell you what, though. Izzy is a fine art to understand her, because she seems so simple, but yet she's got these underlying currents of difficulty that you really need to understand to play at a high level. And I could see how, not going from a different role and into her, you would get a little bit of a struggle with that. I mean, I'll tell you, one of the things I love doing with her is my 3 is not an escape. That's I'm going to come in and kill you, buddy.
That's what I was going to say. I have this problem where I'm just always aggressive, no matter what role lane. I'm not going to play back because it's boring. Like, I have to just keep running at people.
Yeah, I definitely
I hear
was
ya.
like watching the video like, damn, this man doesn't take shit from anybody, no matter where he's at.
No, you'll look. I have games against like Barracuda and ranked and stuff in ADC role, and like it's no fun to sit back. Like, I'm just going to push up. I'm going to fight you as much as possible. I don't care who you are.
Yeah. There's just something to be said about 3ing in towards someone when they think you're going to escape, and just coming in right behind them. My favorite, though, and I've done this a couple times in my career, and it always seems like it's against a Loki, but I'll 3 to nowhere. I literally just 3 and immediately to where I'm at. And then they're turning around and looking, and I'm like, yeah, I'm behind you, buddy. Like, sorry, you know. I give them a half second, get my 2 back up. All right, it's game over now.
Yeah, Izzy's an art.
So, in light of a topic this week, I figured we kind of split up our questions a little bit, where we would kind of talk to you about the things, you know, questions we had, and then we'll get into our session of progression, and then we'll come back to the community's questions in the community section. So, Dan, you're the #1 fan here, so
throw them at me. Let's
down,
go.
Lead the way.
Calm down, and you know, try not to shriek too much.
Just
take a few breaths. Yep. There we go.
So I think my first question would definitely be, what's your the biggest thing that you see people in lower elos and lower ranks, like, you know, gold and plat and stuff. What are their biggest mistakes that keep them in that area?
Yeah, I'd say like over half the time it's probably your builds. Like, it really is, man. I mean, you can go more generic, you can say decision making, but it comes down to builds and then how you spend your time. A lot of people either aren't rotating, like you'll see supports who never leave the duo lane, which is really bad. You'll see junglers who are farming a lot but don't really know how to gank, and then when they do gank, they gank a lane that isn't a free kill, so that's a lost minute right there. If they run over there, it's not a good gank, and then they have to run somewhere else, it's just a lost minute. So it comes down to like building correctly and then just not wasting your time. Like, I'll play in pro games and I'll go and check a camp, right? I'll see if it's up, like on the other side of the map, like an invade, and it won't be up, and I'll realize in that time the other jungler got a 200 gold lead off of just leeching off of a lane or something. So little decisions like that add up real quickly, and low level players don't process that. You don't realize that 10-second decision you just made actually put you behind more than you think.
Okay. Another question. I always love watching your stream because when people snipe you, it's just like, it just seems like it's more fun for you. My question is, how is it so easily dealt with for you? Like, how is it that you're that you don't? It doesn't matter that they know where you're at all the time. Because I've had games where their ward coverage must have been brilliant or something, and it just seemed like they always knew where I was. There was actually a game I played as Ao Kwong where Thanatos and Nox comboed me from the beginning of the game to the mid game, and then I started soloing them because I know how to build Ao Kwong because I watched your video.
I mean, that's one play around, right? Like, if your 2 people are running at you the whole game, that means your team has an advantage somewhere else. So if you play the whole, I just need to not die, I need to get what farm is up, instead of getting frustrated. Like, most streamers get mad, right? You'll see them tweeting about it. You'll see them raging. Like, I might rage in an instant and be like, damn, I'm getting sniped. But at the same time, I'm thinking, okay, I still have to go farm this. I still have to do this. Like, I don't give up. And I think when people snipe me, they probably think it's going to be a lot easier than it is. So then it's kind of, it's just a struggle for them when it's not as easy. They have to try harder. Like, they sniped into this. They did it on purpose, and it's not as fun.
Okay. Yeah. That's cool.
Honestly, I would take it as a badge of honor. I mean, I barely, have streamed much at all, to this point, compared to most people, so I'm just still working on trying to get, more than a couple viewers, per session. But honestly, I'd be like, bring it on, This makes it more of a challenge for me. It's a badge of honor that, you feel you have to do it, or whatever. But yeah, high five, man.
I can appreciate that, but from once you have a following, it's a lot different because your job is to be entertaining and have fun games. So if you're getting sniped by 5 of your friends and they're making the game not enjoyable from your end, then it's bad. Like, it's losing your money. Imagine if people stood out front of your shop and wouldn't let people get in, or people went into your shop to listen to music and they were outside blasting louder music and they couldn't hear it. It's just disruptive to like what's happening. So sure, in small doses, it can be great. It can be fun. Depending on who it is, it can be more fun. But eventually, at some point, it's going to affect you negatively. And that's where it gets annoying. Like, it happens to me, too. It's just a very small percentage of the time I'm sniped.
Cool. Yeah, I get that.
Does anyone else have any questions? I don't want to be the only one here.
I've definitely got my.
I can go all day.
I definitely got my oddball questions. You know me.
So, says you're a big shoe fan. What's your favorite pair of shoes you have?
Right now I have a pair of Jordan 4s. They're the designer Cause. They're like, he collabed with Jordan to make them. They're really, really expensive. Not my most expensive shoes I have, but they're just like a clean shoe. They're black. They have a little off coloring on them, so they aren't super boring, and they kind of like you can wear them with everything. So the fact, I mean, I have 55 pairs of shoes now. So those are the ones that I don't wear all the time, but when I want to, like I'm going somewhere and I just want a simple shoe, that's what I wear.
Hell yeah.
Sweet.
So it says you went to business college.
I did. Got a degree in
Is there any
business.
plans for when you get done with the pro scene, or?
So when I first started school, I had no clue what I wanted to do. I didn't really, like, I went to a school, I didn't like look into it. I didn't really care where I was going. I was just going to school because that's what you're supposed to do. That's what you think you're supposed to do. So I went to school for a year and a half, did the basic, like, your gen ed classes for business, and I hated it. Hated the school. I liked the classes. I liked the teachers. I hated the school. So I wasn't sure if I wanted to finish school or what. Came home for a year, worked. And once you kind of, like, do that and you get into, like, the business where you might not see yourself, like, going anywhere, you instantly, like, I instantly was like, I have to go back to school. Like, there's no way I'm doing this for the next 10, 20 years. So I went back to school. Went to James Madison University here in Virginia. It's really good business-wise. It's like top 40 in the country, including like your Ivy League schools and stuff. And then that's when Smite, like I went back to school. I went there. First semester, didn't play any Smite, didn't play any video games, had my computer sitting in the corner. After that first semester, I got, I think, straight A's. Decided, all right, like I did my job. I'm gonna play video games again. And that was when I went pro. And it was interesting because I'd take classes or like I'd be learning something, reading something in a book, and I'd remember like, oh, I did, like, this is exactly what I went through in this contract for X organization, or I already dealt with this stuff. So it was more Smite, and what I was doing already was actually helping me with school more than school was helping me with Smite.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's different. Like people, like I'd have to tell, like I'd be in a group and I'd have to, like, yeah, I this is what I do. Like I have to explain it to them because I'd have to leave a meeting to go play an SPL match or something. So I don't know. It was just I'd say it might help me later on, the degree, but realistically, I think everything I'm doing now is going to help me and has prepared me more for the next job or whatever I want to do after streaming and Smite, or I don't even know how long this is going to last. I have no idea. It's an interesting ride.
Hell yeah. That's it from me, folks.
All right, so
Yuki?
I bring the weird game-related questions here because we on PlayStation didn't get Smite until about Season 3. So one of my favorite questions is, what was your favorite item that was removed from the game?
My favorite item didn't even make it to the live client. So I don't remember. It was some big patch. Like they were just trying to make crazy changes to make the game more interesting again. They put in a starter item that slowed on auto attacks and also put a dot on auto attacks.
Oh yeah.
So the whole, like, we were all playing on the PCS. It would just be me picking like Thanatos or Arachne and running at them, like finding them in their jungle at level 1, and it would just be fights over and over again. Like, I don't know if PlayStation had, there was a meta where people were building like Frostbound Hammer and you were just fighting. I feel like it might have been Season 3, but it was
early Season 3. Yeah,
it was similar to that, except for different gods were a lot stronger. So like at the time I played like I still play Arachne every game, but I played a lot of Thanatos, and if you played those 2 games, you couldn't lose. You could 1v2 people and they couldn't do anything with the item. Like the item was so broken. That patch came out, we played it that night. I know I was the only person who streamed it, and the next morning it was gone. So someone watched my stream, someone saw the clips, because it was me, Cyclone, and a bunch of other pros doing it, and it was very fun. And if it had made it to live, it would have made the game probably unenjoyable and broken, but that was my favorite item I've ever played with.
I don't know how much of the mythology side you keep track of, or how much you're into mythology in general, like it's some people into this game. Are there any gods or goddesses that you know of that you wish were in the game? Now, especially now that Hera's in, because that's a big one.
I feel like I'm the oddball out. I literally pay zero attention to any of that stuff. I couldn't tell you what god was in what thing at any point. Like, I don't know any of that stuff. I've never been like that. I play World of Warcraft, and you know how much lore and stuff is in that game, and people really dive into it. Yeah. I don't know anything. I don't know a single person's name. Like, I might go to a raid boss in that game, and then after that, like I have no idea who they are, what the point. Like I don't know any of that stuff. I'm not.
My goal was to kill them.
I think I attribute it more like I don't play single player games. I've never, when I was little, I played like Mario and stuff, but I was never really a big single player game, which is where you follow the story, you listen to what's being said, you read the stuff. I skip that. If I play a single player game, I'm spamming the button, skipping past all that stuff to just do the action. So I'm definitely not the person to ask for that stuff. I have no idea. As stuff comes in, people get hyped. Like in my chat, like people get hyped over, oh, Harris coming out, right? I don't look at it like that. I wait to see what the abilities are and how it plays before I have any interest or I'm excited at all, because it's just about the gameplay for me.
Well, we'll just put you in the Baba Yaga category.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what, I certainly understand like that with new gods. Honestly, I don't even like to play them when they come out, because 9 out of 10 times, the next patch, they're going to be different. I prefer to let them settle down, and then I'll hop in and start playing them. Like, all right, now that they're kind of where they're supposed to be, now I'll play them, because I like to learn right from the beginning how to play them right. And if I'm playing them from the very beginning and they're changing heavily right off the bat, that's going to put me behind the 8 ball.
Yeah, you get used to Chernobog, and then you old, and you're like, oh, this is not what it was last Tuesday. You're just smiling at them. I think that's it for me, really.
I have a question. I obviously know this because I watch your stream all the time and stuff. But at one point, you said that you had taken a break from Smite and that you ended up grinding back to the top of Masters in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
How in the fuck?
That was what I was talking about. When I went back to school, I took it was like 4 months. It was a whole semester. I'd never even hooked up my computer. And then within that, like, I don't know if it was Christmas break or something. So I didn't have anything to do. I mean, I was already in college, so my classes are like 6 hours a week. Like I already had nothing to do, right? So I don't know. I got back on. It was a lot of the cooler gods were in, like Mercury had come back in. So I spammed rank. I actually, in a month, I had the highest rated elo in the game, which I held through that whole season. And then my main account, that was a second account. My main account was in the highest rank. It was like in top 10. So there was a point in time where I had 2 accounts in the top 10. Like, well, that was when you were playing against LATAM, Europe, NA, all on the same servers.
That's cool. That'd be interesting if they ever did that again, but they couldn't deal with the difference in delay.
No, yeah, LATAM and EU got screwed over because the servers were like 99.9% NA. You'd have your 1 in 100 game where you got an EU server, if it was even that. But yeah, you wouldn't want to put those players to that again. That would not be fun.
Oh, I got one more. How'd you come up with the name Weak3n?
When I was younger, I mumbled like a lot. Like my parents would give me shit for it all the time. Like, what did you just say? Like, what are you speaking an alien language and shit like that? So when I'd play Halo 2, I played all day, every day. I'd be sick, quote unquote, sick from school, play all day with my friends. I'd mumble like call outs. Like I took it pretty seriously. I was very good. I got played against pro players at the time who were a lot older than me and stuff. So I'd mumble and be like, they're weak or they're weakened. And then I'd have a call out like B2 weak. And I'd be saying it so fast that even in my own head, I'm like, nobody knows what I just said. They heard weak or they heard something. So I just took that, ran with it. I wanted a new like name I could stick with. I was 12 at the time, I think. And Weak3n came to mind. Another pro player's name was Darkin, which I found out. Like I came with the name Weak3n, but I wasn't sure if I wanted it. Saw this guy named Darkin, and he did a 3 instead of the E, and I thought it was so cool. So I threw it in my name. I liked the way it looked. I thought with the K and then a 3 right after, they almost like sync up. And I just always thought that was cool. Stuck with it ever since. I had different names when I played World of Warcraft because you couldn't put numbers. You can't put numbers in your name. Anything you can't put numbers in your name, I hate having the name Weak3n because I don't like it with an E. I think it looks bad. That's like you go to my chat and if you type Weak3n, the Nightbot calls you a bitch and tells you that it's called Weak3n. Because it's actually just something I don't like the look of it. I really don't like. I don't like mind people saying like people aren't always gonna type it right, but I hate the way it looks without the 3.
That's fine. How about you, Beagle? You got any questions? You ask questions here at home all the time, but when it comes to guests, you're always like,
Yeah, actually, I do. What?
Holy crap, guys!
This sounds scary.
This is a momentous occasion.
What tips do you have for people who are trying to learn how to play jungle?
I mean, this is it's a generic for every role. When I started the game, I watched stream. That was when streaming was starting to grow a little bit. Like this is when Shing was a top streamer, Lassus was a top streamer. I would literally on my second monitor put them on, and I'd play Smite, and I would watch. And then when I wasn't in a game or when I wasn't playing, I needed a break. I would just watch Twitch streams of Smite all day long, and it was almost like I was studying what they were doing. Like it's easy to watch somebody when it's for entertainment because you're just trying to get enjoyment out of it. Like, it's awesome, he just got a double kill. Well, instead of that, I'd be looking at it like, how did he get that double kill? Why 30 seconds ago, like, was he here, which led to him getting a double kill? And if you process the game like that, like, everyone's not going to do it. I was trying to be the best. Like, I wanted to play at the highest level. So like, that's not going to be for everybody. But I'd say even taking in like 10 minutes of a stream every once in a while, outside of just for entertainment, you'll learn most of what you need to know very quickly. And that's because those top players are already doing these things just out of habit. Like, they don't think about what they're doing. They're just, it's an everyday thing. They could not be even looking at the screen. Like, I read my chat half the time and I'm still running around pathing better than 90% of the other people you're going to play against. And that's just because it becomes a habit. It's not hard stuff. It's just things you have to understand at a higher level.
All right.
I just remember Fast and the Furious, the stare and drive. Did he give you the stare drive? That's my move.
So, a question I have, because again, I kind of alluded to it earlier that we've been growing and progressing ourselves, and you know, we've been hitting these walls where it's just like, man, these guys are just a hell of a lot better than us. And part of it's from us growing, and part of it's just matchmaking with groups is always going to be a little wonky. And so when you're feeling that frustration in games, what are some tips that you can give, you know, to help keep cool and, you know, party on?
I mean, that's kind of a mindset, right? Like, you have to go into it, especially as soon as you realize someone's better than you, that like you can see by the way they're playing, like they might do something and you're like, oh shit, I didn't know you could do that. That'll happen to me, maybe not in Smite, but in other games, and you just have to realize, like, instantly at that moment it becomes a learning experience that you're trying to have fun in, rather than I need to win this game experience. That's how you'll get better. If you learn from those people, you learn from the things they're doing better than you, the mistakes they are making, and then you'll just inherently have more fun in the next game if you aren't making those mistakes. And as you progress and move on game to game against these better players, you'll slowly become as good as them. The same thing in sports. You go look at a lot of athletes, they at 10 years old were playing against people that were 20 in whatever sport, and they can beat, like, at some point they became able to beat them, and then they moved their way up. The same thing applies to video games. Play people better than you as a learning experience, not as a, I'm mad, Joe just missed his ability, now we're going to lose. Like, you were probably going to lose anyway. So stop freaking out about it. Take a step back, find out what's going wrong, so the next game you don't do that, and you'll just have more fun overall. Because video games are about fun, and winning is usually more fun, but you can't beat everybody. There's always somebody who is going to do something better than you. So when you play those people, you have to learn from it. You have to take it as a learning experience.
I love that answer, because that's what I'm always trying to tell people. It's like, look, when you're up against people that are better than you and you're getting your ass handed to you, pay attention to how they're handing it to you, because you can learn from that and start to do that to other people. Yeah, so that's I love the answer. High five.
Yeah.
Oh man. Any other questions out here, folks? Or are we ready to move on to our session of progression?
I think we can. I think we can move on for now.
Talk some Merc.
All right. Well, yeah, that's right. We're going to talk some Mercury this week on our session of progression. And since, you know, Dan's such a big fan, we'll let him just read through the abilities here real quick, and then Weak3n, once he's done that, we'll turn things over to you to kind of help guide people on how to you know, build out the abilities, build out a build, and what combos, and, you know, how to get better at the guy in general.
Okay, so Mercury's passive, fastest god alive. For every 1 unit traveled, Mercury gains a 0.1% physical power bonus on his next basic attack for a max of 50%. Mercury also gains additional physical power equal to 25% of movement speed from items or abilities.
Read the note.
What note?
there's a note for that, and I love it. I didn't know this, and it makes me laugh every time I see a jump party now.
There's no note.
Merc's passive doesn't charge while jumping.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it doesn't say that here, but that is true. So if you jump around the map all the time, don't do it as Mercury. I've made that mistake. I learned quickly. His first ability, Made You Look. Mercury moves in the blink of an eye, dealing 1 melee attack to every enemy within the target area. Each hit may trigger item effects for basic attacks and can critically hit. Made You Look does not trigger ability-related item effects. The damage is 70 to 210 with 60% of your basic attack power, and the radius actually increases from 7.5 to 13.5. Maximum velocity, his 2. Passive, Mercury gains increased movement speed. Active, Mercury increases his attack speed and cleanses himself of slows and becomes immune to slows for the duration. The ground speed bonus is 2 to 10%, the duration is 5 seconds, and the attack speed goes from 30 to 70%. Special delivery, Mercury's dash, and is 3. Mercury dashes forward, knocking aside minions, grabbing the first enemy god he encounters and spinning them. The enemy god takes damage until the effect ends, and Mercury throws the god in the direction of his choice. Minion damage is 70 to 250 plus 80% of your physical power, and then the god damage per tick is 10 to 30 plus 20% of your physical power every 0.25 seconds. And the duration is 1 second. And this is known to be one of the best CCs in the game, just because it's a 1 second stun with a directional toss at the end if they don't get out of it in some other way. And that can really throw a fight in your way. His ultimate, Sonic Boom. Mercury gathers energy for a powerful dash, with the range extending as he does so. He travels the distance faster than the speed of sound, dealing damage to all enemies, stunning them and spinning them around in a random direction. The damage is 200 to 500 plus 100% of your physical power, and the disorient duration is 1.5 seconds. All right, Weak3n. So, how do we Mercury?
You just press the buttons and people die, honestly, right now.
Do
you even need to press the buttons? I just usually hold forward.
I mean, your forehead will work,
and...
honestly. You just slam your forehead into the keyboard once you have a Golden Blade. That's the whole thing. Yeah. It's not Mercury being good right now. It's Golden Blade making Mercury insanely strong. So play around the Golden Blade, play around poke, and literally you just press your buttons. You throw your 1 out every chance you get at somebody. At lower levels, they're not going to be running around with as many health pods, and you're going to fuck some kids up.
I think my favorite thing is, he just walked into the minions.
Yeah.
It's like the perfect moment. You see 3 people grouped up. You're like, oh, I can't wait.
Oh, I had the best chance for a triple kill with my 1, and I left the other 2 that I hit at the sliver of health. Oh, I'm so pissed. I love that 1 with the Golden Blade. It's broken.
So how do you build out his abilities here in the beginning of the game?
You want to start with your 1, max your 1. Really, it comes down to how you're playing the game after that. The 2 is very strong, but the ultimate, when you're using it a lot and you're ganking, if you're ulting or trying to get a gank every time your ult comes up, that little bit of extra damage on a gank is kind of big. There's a lot of times where I'll notice I don't level that up. I'll level up to 2 first, or second, I guess. And I'll miss out on a kill by 2 or 3 autos or something. And that extra 100 damage you get, extra 50 damage you get from each rank goes kind of far.
Nice. And, obviously, you build Golden Blade with him. How quick do you actually build that out of the gate?
First item. You start with Assassin's Blessing, rank 1 Katana, and then you finish that Golden Blade first before anything else. Having that online... You don't there's a lot of gods like Thanatos or something where you try to rush your boots and then you want to go kill somebody real quick. Or on Mercury, you rush your Golden Blade as fast as you can and then you just want to go back to farming and rush your farming even more. It's nonstop. And then once you have boots is when you look for the ganks and the free kills.
Yeah, as soon as I hit 1500, I'm like, oh, I'm back, gone, I'm out of here. And I'm almost always level 20 by 19 minutes. I mean, farm is so important, and I definitely have kills by that time too, so. As soon as boots are online, my team knows that I'm coming to gank.
I just Golden Blade right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Golden Blade's fun.
All over the place.
I don't feel like anyone else really abuses it. Or even you'll see Arachne and some others where you pick it up, but it's his 1 just makes that item shine so brightly.
Yeah, it's really not worth to pick up on Arachne. You just want to build for that burst damage with her. When I see people pick that up, it's like, yeah, you have it, but you're wasting a slot.
Yeah, there's a lot of gods that try to make it work. Like Baka, I'd say, is probably the next closest to getting something out of it. But overall, you're usually trading out an item for something that's not worth it. On Mercury, it increases the farm so much, and the potential for like double damage on people, it has way more value than anyone else can get out of it.
Yeah.
So what are we building after that? So, obviously we go into boots. What boots do you build?
Your warrior pen. Oh, I can't even think, dude. Your power boots, warriors. What are they called? I forget
Warrior
the names.
Yeah,
I forget the name of items, dude. I have my own names for stuff at this point. So yeah, you're going into your power boots. You're rushing rage because the stacks from rage are gonna come. So you want it right away, and usually around that point, if you're farming correctly, it's when the big team fights start, like your Gold Fury defense, your Portal Demon stuff, your ganks off of your Mercury stuff. So having that rage as fast as possible becomes almost as important as a Golden Blade, because you need that crit online to get the crazy poke, to get the ones that hit for 600 on the mages. You have to get that online. I'd say though that and Golden Blade are your two most important items. I think rage is overlooked a lot because it's a stacking item that you can't automatically stack. It doesn't have crazy power on it. It's kind of just like the item in the build that you have to have, but you don't want. And then if you really take a step back and realize how much you crit as soon as you finish that item, you understand it is a key to the build.
Honestly, if I'm building crit, it's one of my favorite items to build. And it is one of those things where I'm just like, yeah, the stacks aren't guaranteed, but there's times where I buy it, I'm like, that shit's stacked already? Ha ha, fa, buddy.
Definitely.
All right. So, we talked about, abilities here, builds. So, hey, actually kind of going back to the abilities a little bit, obviously there's some good combos here to hit with them. Like I know personally, I've watched, you want to grab them, with your 3, throw them, and then you can actually, if you time it right, you can hit them, with your 1 as they're landing. That's obviously a very good combo to use with that. Any other particular combos with them ability-wise?
I like throwing people into walls because if they hit the wall, you can get 2 autos in before they can do anything, before they can hit the ground and react. So I think that's
there you go.
That on Mercury is probably my favorite use of an ability, but that stems to so many other gods that you can do stuff like that on, like Serket. There's a lot of things where tossing people into a wall, usually you might think it's bad because with the normal Mercury throw, you could throw them so much farther, right? You could throw them down the lane, but that extra auto, that extra little bit of time, it confuses them, it makes them react differently, and that's my favorite use of the 3 on Mercury.
Not to mention, if they're squishy, they're going to be dead before they hit the ground.
Oh yeah, 100%. They can't use actives. You can't do anything. They're just floating in the air, hitting a wall, and they're still got that time where they're supposed to be flying through the air. It's really satisfying to get some 1,000 crits in there while they're up against the wall.
Yeah, and it holds them still and helps out for the rest of the team too. Sometimes, especially someone who's got an ability they hold still for, like Raw. If you throw somebody into the wall, the Raw knows while he's charging where it's going to be. He doesn't have to guess.
Yeah, I think my biggest question on the Mercury combos is when you're 3ing somebody, when is the time to activate your 2? Is that when they hit the ground? Should you hit it when they're in the air? I think that's the only thing I struggle with.
I mean, if you're min-maxing, it's going to be different each time because there's sometimes you can throw people and you can actually hit them when they're in the air. I don't know if that comes down to the diminishing returns on stuff from stuns. Because sometimes you'll throw it faster, right? And that's diminishing returns. That's other people hitting one of the stuns. So you can min-max out of the throw. There's times where you'll throw them so fast you can auto while they're running through the air. There's times where you're throwing them really far back. Say early game you don't have boots, so you won't be able to get in those autos in the air. So I'd say each time it changes. If you're going to be able to catch up to them, you don't want to 2 until you're there, right? And then if they have slows, if there's other people around, sometimes I'll pop it earlier so I can make sure I get to them. It really varies time to time. I think you have to look at each match and in your head min-max. Think about how the gank's going to go ahead of time. Are you killing a Poseidon in a whirlpool? You need to get out of it faster, pop your 2. Is there no slows and this person doesn't have mobility, so you're going to go sit on them, so then holding the 2 until you catch up to them and getting more autos in is going to go farther. It's just really situation based.
Cool.
Good question, Dan. I know I asked you that the other day, actually, too.
Yeah, I wanted a more professional opinion.
We're professional bullshitters.
I am a professional bullshitter, I can tell you that much.
Unless you need to know some numbers. I'm good at that.
So, another thing that we like to ask our God specialist is, you're lining up there, and on the enemy team is the Mercury. So, what are some things to do to counter, when you're playing against him? What's his Achilles heel per se?
A lot of aggression. So Mercury's big struggles are early game before you get the Golden Blade online. So if you play a god that can push Mercury out when you meet up in the mid lane at level 2, that will go a long way to giving you a chance at getting ahead before Mercury gets the Golden Blade. So you see gods like Naja come in against the Mercury. That's because Naja can help clear the mid lane, can pressure out, can get early kills. And the hyper aggression is the only thing I see consistently shut down a Mercury. You can also play for team fights, where if you're a god that will stick together with your team, if you're not a diving team comp, right? Like, you're just a god that's gonna sit together, and you're playing against a Mercury, and you stay together. It's gonna be really hard for that Mercury to do his job. And that's the other counterplay, I guess. It's, as an individual, you can go hyper aggression early and try to just fuck the Mercury up so bad that you're always ahead and you're always invading and taking his shit. Or as a team, when the Mercury's gonna have his farm, you just stay together, and if he tries to go in, you all turn on him, and that's your best bet.
Cool. So my last question here to you is, what skins do you use?
Dude, there's so many bad ones. Have you seen the new? I don't even know the name of it. The new anime skin.
I heard you making fun of it.
Yeah, dude. I hadn't played it. Like, my stream would ask me, like, "Yo, switch to this," and I just forget. And in scrims, I turned it on. And we literally, all five of us, in the middle of a scrim match, sat there and watched the walk on this skin, and it made me want to throw up, dude. It was terrible. I
don't know what it is about him.
I don't know. It was weird enough too, because there was another god that we had picked in the scrim that has the same model as Mercury. Like, they stand the same. They're the same exact model. So Hyra's obviously just jacked it and swapped it over.
Right.
But yeah, I've seen a couple of those.
I hate so many of the skins. The enemy skin is obviously it was our skin that we got as a team, so I like that skin, but I don't really use it. And then the rocket punch is the only one that I like, that I use over and over and over again.
You know which one I use all the time?
Which one?
If I'm playing Mercury, I like to use Modern Messenger. Why? Because it's a douchebag skin.
Oh.
Which one is that? I'm trying to remember what it looks like.
That's the one where he's wearing like a yellow hoodie with a yellow mohawk.
Oh, yeah,
so
he's like a Street Fighter type dude. Yeah.
I hate that skin, man.
The face is a CC.
Dude, that's the thing. They've messed up the face on so many of these skins. The Kung Fu skin, whatever it's called, the Shaolin Fury skin.
Oh my goodness.
It's horrible. It is horrible. Like, I have no idea what they're doing. They gotta get some better stuff in there.
Yeah, I think
like the effects on the new Mercury skin. I think they're pretty okay, but overall the skin was kind of like, But I also really like the voice actor that they used for it. So,
yeah, poor Merc. He suffers from bad skin syndrome.
Yeah, who's designing them? That's the question.
Well, these new skins that are I don't even know what style they are.
The anime style.
Anime.
Anime. I'm just like,
the cell shade.
Like, no, thank you. Like, it's just not. It's not good. Stick with the other stuff.
It sells, dude. There's like anime and that stuff is so big that it just sells perfectly for them.
Yeah,
but it is nice that they can work it into the game and it be a part for it. Because of that. Because hey, look, I like that there's skins that I like and there's skins that I don't like, and them being something for me. But yeah, I'm sure I'm not really into anime, but the people that are love it. So it is a good thing that it can be mixed in. So I mean, I'm not down in it in that way, but it's just not for me.
I always use Captain Quick because I love his voice pack when he says enemy ultimate down. He sounds so fucking satisfied, dude. He's like, enemy ultimate down. And he's like, yeah, I fucking got his ultimate.
Like 3 weeks in a row you've worked that in.
I know.
I'm not gonna lie, you sounded like a professional right there. What the hell?
I love it. It's so good. Like, I just love the way it sounds. It makes me laugh every time.
Dan could definitely be a voice actor. I would agree with that 100%.
Yeah, I've been told that a couple different times that I've...
Dirt Nap's lazy.
Yeah, that's it.
Pretty much.
The lazy Mercury skin.
That's what they need. They need a skin where Merc's got his
stroll.
belly hanging out, and he's like fat, and he's like, ugh.
Redneck Mercury.
That would be fucking bad.
The dad bod
God.
Mercury.
Oh my. Well, I think that pretty much wraps up our session of progression here for this week on Mercury. As always, feel free to hop on over to the Discord and continue any conversations over there. We're always happy to dive in a little deeper. Or hey, if you got any tips, we'll share them as well. You know, we're never opposed to any of that stuff.
Or if you just want to tell us we suck.
Yeah. You know,
Yeah, Dan does suck.
I'm used to it, so.
Yep.
But, you know me, I'm out of position again, but that's,
Oh, God.
You know, like Weak3n says, I like to play aggressively. Just keep your asses up with me and we'll be fine.
Everyone else's fault, not yours, right?
Yeah, guys, get good. Jeez.
What are you doing? I'm like, there's one guy behind me. I'm up here tanking 4 of them. Y'all better be able to handle that one guy and not bitch about it. Meanwhile, I killed their mage.
Reminding me of that game where I went 19-0 in the first 12 minutes and we lost.
Yeah. No, I understand. We all have our ups and downs, but hey, that's what I love about the game. Just as a real brief aside, I kind of, with my question earlier about dealing with the frustrations this might, is look, one of my best advices for that is like, if you won every game, would you play this anymore?
Well, I would be a professional, so yeah.
But even then, where's the fun of that? If you're going to win every time. I mean, to me, this is a competition, and what makes competition good is losing. It makes those wins all the more satisfying when you get them. So.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, let's move here on over to this week's community challenge. Oh, and Yuki, I'm sorry.
He just figured it out. So Weak3n, normally there is a quick go over of lore and anything weird that sticks out to me, and this is making it in. So we're gonna make fun of Dirt Nap's Dan,
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, let's make fun of Dirt Nap's Dan.
Wait a minute, I get thrown under the bus.
Yeah.
We'll make fun of Dirt Nap's dad here a little bit, but we'll just record at the end of the episode. It'll be like it never happened.
Just go ahead, give it now, and then we'll move on to the community section. Give that lore out.
Move the windows.
That's all right.
Oh my God, making me do work now.
Put it this way: it'll give Beagle time to get prepared for the community section.
We know she wasn't ready.
All right, so the lore this week on Mercury is he's known mostly as the messenger of the gods, but he's also the god of like shopkeeping, merchants. So I would love to see one where he just ults in and there's just a line of coins. Think Fafnir's skin would be great. Just to play on some of those other mythological elements. He is a father. He was to escort one of the nymphs down to the underworld, and totally hit that because nymphs. That's all there really is to say. If you know anything about the mythology behind them, you're like, fair enough. But other than that, Smite's lore and their depiction of his kit and everything's very much on point with the predominant lore. The biggest books that he shows up into, or the biggest literature we have, is Virgil's Aeneid, and he plays a big part in that, reminding Aeneas of his mission to found the city of Rome. So if it weren't for Mercury, Rome would never have been founded, and there you go.
And you'd never be able to, when in Rome, be Rome, right?
When in Rome, do as the Romans do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So
I can't remember all of this anymore.
And being one of the major gods in the Roman mythology, alongside him helping to found Rome, he's found in a lot of their artwork. He has a major temple. Their oracles of Mercury pretty much start, end, or are involved in every story for any god or character or hero or whatnot. So he's, as far as the gods we've covered so far, he's probably one of the biggest. His cult in Rome was one of the largest next to like Zeus. So just a big storyteller, big mechanic in the way they dealt with their mythology, which is pretty cool.
All right, high five. See, we worked it in there.
And read the Aeneid if you haven't, because the Aeneid's hilarious.
All right, Beagle. I hope you're ready.
All right. So, wait. Why?
Oh God, she wasn't ready still?
No, I'm...
she wasn't.
No.
She wasn't ready.
No, I
She's
just
sitting
went
in
to the community section again
instead of the
into...
guest question.
Yes, I know. All right, yeah. So, first up, Evie in the Discord, or Yuri, if you could create your own god, which one would you take from mythology, and where would you put them in terms of roles, and how would you troll with the skills of them, or would you make them serious?
So, did he die? Weekend, did you die?
Is this gonna be for me? Is this gonna be like impossible
Oh,
for me to answer?
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna need what is it, like phone a friend? I'm gonna need some help here from the audience.
So he would totally get Baba Yaga from Slavic folklore, because Baba Yaga is a crazy ass witch who flies around on a flying mortar and pestle. Think anyone who's seen Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z, the spinning black pot that has the fire coming out that they fly through the air with, for those people who are pure and fly on the Nimbus cloud. That's where that comes from. And she lives in a three chicken-legged house.
That is very, very different. I'll give you that.
Dude, Baba Yaga's crazy. I love her.
I want to see a
Phone a
very
friend.
chicken-legged house dropped on somebody as her ult. Like,
That's going to be a great ultimate.
Just lock them in there. That's your whole thing. You lock somebody down by putting them in.
Yeah.
No.
She dashes within the mortar and pestle on a fire. She dashes at him.
there you go.
The alts, they're caged in a three-legged chicken house that runs around like it has its head cut off.
Those kind of questions have always been really hard for me. Like, people ask me that stuff all the time. Not only just because I don't know it, even for like looking into abilities, you want to match them up with lore. It's hard enough to come up with an ability in general, just something new in Smite that hasn't been done. Like, there's almost 100 gods now. There's a lot of stuff that's been done. The one thing I want to see is mana burn, but I don't even know what god that might apply with in terms of lore. And then it's hard enough to implement it into the game on top of all that.
Yeah. And then how would it interact with Achilles, who doesn't have mana?
Yeah, right? Just extra health burned or something? Like, I have no idea.
You mean Kukule and Yuki, but yeah.
No, I meant Achilles. Achilles doesn't use mana. He's...
Yeah, and Souls 1s or 2, right?
Yeah, and
Oh,
yeah,
hardware and sovereignty are mixed for Yuki. So if he ever tells you to build one, it's the other one.
No,
Don't
it's always
ever
the
buy what he
opposite.
says. Buy the other one.
Oh my god.
Okay.
All right, moving on, Beagle.
All right. Next question from Uncle Phoenix. Will he ever be Strongin?
Every day, you should change your name to Strongin. You should make another account that's Strongin. Yeah, that's not happening. No, I like my name the way it is. I understand like the play on stuff, but I'm chilling. I'm good with my name.
The G and the 3 just don't work together as well.
I mean, it just sounds weird anyway. Because wouldn't it be like strength? Like, people are like, it would be strengthened anyway. Like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
We're not gonna get into that. We're not gonna dive that deep. We're just gonna say no. Like, we're gonna leave it alone.
All right. Oh, Guy's Kid coming in here.
Heard. What's your favorite cereal?
Oh, dude, this is hard. I'm like very. Not only am I picky, I get sick of stuff very quickly. So like, I was eating Honey Nut Cheerios last week. I stopped eating cereal because I'm eating a whole lot less sugar. I usually I'd end stream, like, if you know my schedule, I'm up really late. Like, I go to bed at like 6 a.m. So I'll eat like something at like 4, and it usually be cereal, then I go to sleep. So when I was eating cereal, I was eating Honey Nut Cheerios last week. The week before that was Frosted Flakes. And then the week before that, my wife got me the Captain Crunch with berries. So like, I swap it up a bit. I'd say my all-time favorite's probably Frosted Flakes because they actually like fill me up, whereas most cereal just being straight sugar doesn't fill me up at all.
You just eat the whole body.
Yeah, I mean, dude, trust me. Give me 2 days of some good cereal, and that shit's gone.
All right, next up.
Next question. Rado Knight 970. What is your rallying speech to bring LG over an opponent that is snowballing in a game?
Dude, we don't. Our team definitely doesn't have rallying speeches or anything like that. It's not your traditional sports team. It's more like a. I wouldn't like in that moment in a real game. We don't really shit talk each other, but like in scrims and stuff, you start giving each other a hard time. Like that is definitely our atmosphere. That's why like Shadow didn't really strive in our atmosphere. There was just no way he couldn't take the bullshit. Even though we're joking, like all 5 of us know we're joking. If you can't process it like that, it hurts. So I'd say if we're really far behind in the scrim, we're giving each other shit to the point where it's just funny. It takes away the stress because you're just clowning on each other. So in a real like LAN game, it might be a little bit different, but I think that atmosphere would still be like, what did we do wrong? And then once you process that, it's like, because that's how pro games go. If you get 10, 15K goal behind, you can tell if there's any chance. Like you might have a good defense comp, and if so, you'll keep playing. If not, you start talking about the next game. So like, probably roast each other a little bit, and then just start looking forward to the next game if you're down that much. In Smite right now, the lead has to be huge for you to lose. Like nobody thinks like, oh, I'm losing until you're down like 8,000 gold. So like that's kind of 1+. Like the team's never, oh, this game's over at a 4K deficit. Like you lose a fight, the game's not over, and nobody thinks of it that way. So you don't really need that confidence booster. Everyone's just kind of still playing their game.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what, I certainly understand that, you know, I mean, there's that good-natured rising, but you all need to be on the same page that, you know, hey, that's what we're doing. We're just going to give each other shit. You know, I don't really mean it, but yeah, if you're not in on that loop, that's not going to go well.
No, it definitely doesn't feel good for people that aren't like that.
I'd say that's definitely something that we specialize in, giving each other shit for fun when we're just getting our ass handed to us, right, Yuki?
Yep.
And then if it starts to get, you know, if we start to take it the wrong way, it's like, can't you just take a joke? You know, nope. And then we start being very sarcastic towards each other, and that usually kind of helps bring us out.
Or we bring up sauerkraut. That's our universal term for being you're too salty.
Off and goes to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you do gotta walk away.
Yep. All right, Guy, looks like you're up.
All right, we got some questions on Reddit, but before I get started on them, I'm going to go ahead. There's a lot of questions about Incon on here, if you can imagine.
No way. Oh, my God.
So, just if you want to let us know what happened there. I'm a big fan of sports anyway, so people getting switched to other teams or getting released is no big deal to me, but apparently a lot of people have taken this hard, so I'll let you.
It's definitely different because in sports, the players don't fucking have to replace their teammates, right? Like sure, maybe LeBron James goes to the owner and says, yo, I can't play with this guy, but you don't know that. Like, first of all, it's a business, way more business. At least it was. Like, esports is getting there, but sports is way more business, so it's handled privately, correctly, and all that shit. With Incon on the first team, we went from being an undefeated SPL team, #1, to 3 weeks before a LAN, he was playing very badly. And this isn't like, it's an opinion, but when 4 other members are all agreeing on it, like on their own, like I had different people come to me on the team at that point in time and be like, yo, like this just isn't going to work. Something is wrong. We kind of sat down and talked, and the idea was with the change in the meta at the time, he just wasn't as good at support anymore. He just couldn't do it because his awareness was going down for whatever reason. We later kind of found that out to be the fact that he was streaming for 12 hours and then scrimming for 4 hours. You can't go shoot hoops for 12 hours straight and then go to your practice and give it all. Like you can't give it your all. It's not possible. There's no way you're doing something for 16 hours straight and giving it your all. So we felt as a team, like I need to, like people just can't process that. They think I was like, Incon, you're gone. Like that was that simple. It never works like that. But as a team, he was putting his priorities were elsewhere. He wasn't performing, and we had to make a change because he wasn't doing it. Like he on his own was fucking us over in all of our eyes, ruining the game for 4 people. So it was time to make a swap. So we made our swap, brought in Omega, and at that time, everyone was kind of frustrated already because we didn't get to go to Worlds. We didn't get to do anything. So when we brought in Omega, we scrimmed for like 2 months. Scrims were like back and forth, and he ended up talking them into kicking me off the team. So I left, and then that team crashed. Like Envy left Smite. They turned into shit. But the process of kicking Incon on that Envy team was as simple as everyone agreed. I went to the owner because I was team captain, or I wasn't team captain, but that kind of was the team captain. That's what people didn't understand. Team captain in Smite is more of who does the paperwork and makes sure the information is passed along correctly. It's not like, oh, we voted him team captain because like he inspires us. Like that's not how it works. It's all paperwork and bullshit. Whereas like as a team, I kind of led the team. I was a shot caller. I did most of it. So everyone came to me. So as a team, as the org, they decided like they agreed with us. They kicked them. Fast forward like 5 months later, and they're on ALG. ALG had been made with Incon and Lassus and all the streamers to be a fun team. Incon realized they could win. So I had messaged them. I was like, if you guys ever want to win, like, let me try out. Let me see if I can do this. And he then like a week or two later came to me and was like, we want to try you out. So it wasn't, people make it out to be like he rescued me. He wanted to we were best friends. He wanted to bring me on the team because we were friends. No, he wanted to win. Like we were friends at the time, but he wanted to win. It wasn't, there was no more than that. He wanted to be winning again. He didn't like being on just a stream team. So I joined the team. We made our roster changes. Our team was okay. We were like middle of the pack, not bad. We get to the gauntlet a week before the gauntlet, and he contacts us and is basically like, we need to make a change. Like we aren't gonna make Worlds. So that was me, MLC Stealth, and Incon, all agreeing, have DMs and had DMs and messages about like, yeah, like we need to kick that at time Coat Baby, who is my real life friend, best man at my wedding, and Veninu, who was our ADC. So we agreed to that, and we started looking for other options. I talked to Cyclone and Oceans at the time. They wanted to come play, but they did not want to play with Incon. Cyclone already had his experience with Incon. Oceans already had his experience with Incon. They did not want to play with him. This is a long story. So I went to our org owner with Stealth and told him, hey, this is the situation. This is like, I told him everything. Like we wanted to swap people around. Nobody will join to play with us. We don't believe we'll make Worlds without making a change. So can me and Stealth leave and go? We were going to go play under Envious again. Me, Stealth, Cyclone, PBM, and Ocean. ALG told us, fuck no. He was like, there's no way that's happening. And this is like a 20-second conversation. He's like, no, that's not happening. You guys can kick Incon. Like it was that straightforward. He's like, I'm going to go with you two. I mean, I'm a bigger streamer. I had a good relationship with him. So it was the org owner's decision that we couldn't leave, and if we need to make a change, Incon was gone, which is also something that nobody seems to process. I don't know why it's so complicated, why they think it's as easy. Why is it just like, I made the decision, fuck Incon, he's gone? Like, that makes no sense. I purposely went out of my way to try to leave the team to him, knowing he wouldn't make Worlds, but he'd still have an SPL team to like be a part of, and that just wasn't an option. So we kicked him. We brought in the people that wanted to come in. We made Worlds, which was the goal. It wasn't like, there was no way we were going to go from not even making like it into Worlds to winning Worlds in that short of a time. So our goal was to make Worlds. We did that, and we were satisfied. Org was happy. And that's kind of where it was at. Nowadays, I don't talk to Incon because he lied about so much shit. For some reason, he went out of his way to say he didn't want to kick people off the team, when I literally have the messages of him saying, yeah, we got to make changes. Let's kick some people. So as soon as that happened, I lost my respect for him because he was just trying to cover his ass. And I think eventually it's caught up to him, honestly. I don't want to say karma, but I think just bullshit catches up to you if you're just leaving a big trail of bullshit.
Yeah. So
awesome,
most of the issues that people seem to not be processing is, and this is with Smite being relatively young, and I would say even more than that, really esports being about as old, if not a little bit younger, in its presence as Smite is, that people still look, oh, it's a game, and this whole game thing is going on. It's like at the end of the day, when you're looking at the pros and you're talking about adding, moving people, shifting people around, it's business. You're there to win.
Yeah,
and the organization invests in you winning.
I think it comes down to the idea that everyone has a following. and teams never had followings in Smite for some reason. Like nobody loved, no one loves SSG, right? They love Barracuda. Like that I think is a big part of it. And just I don't want to say everyone's immature, but that's what it feels like. Because you look at, like you said, Smite's young, but every esport was young at one point. And at no point in any of the esports I followed did people blame the players when someone was kicked. They always said, like, oh, that org's dumb. Like, why would the org do that? Because the org is the one who makes the final decision. They're in charge. And people don't have any of the inside information about what's going on. Like, what if, I don't know, say when I was kicked off Envious, what if I was just being the worst person ever? I was late to scrims. I was shit talking everybody. I was saying how bad everyone was, how much I hated the game. Like, obviously I should be removed, but nobody would have that kind of information. So for them to even make a real opinion, and like one to get emotional about, is just insane to me.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't think about that. You're right. As far as like esports on different games, you hear about the team or the organization on other ones a lot more.
Yeah, Smite's always been very different. I couldn't tell you why.
Right on, man.
That wraps up a ton of the questions there, right?
There you go. Yep. That is the last time we'll talk about it. So we have Corvus Trishula. She says, if you could make the best Smite god based on existing abilities, what would you pick?
When it exists, like get like abilities that are already in Smite, or just
combining
stuff?
Abilities that already exist.
Man, this is so hard. You look at you just have to take the most OP. Like the first thing I look at is like Freya. I'm gonna want to take like the one off of Freya. I'm gonna want to take like a Chernobog ult. I'm gonna want to take like I'd probably want double movement abilities too. Like imagine combining Serket's one with Freya's one, having what's another movement ability that does damage? I'm trying to think. Something else.
Depends on how far you want to move.
I mean, I want to go across the whole map. Give me a Mercury all on a 3, dude.
Then like Chiron
or 10-second cooldown.
Dude, a Chiron would be yeah. Give me a god with
Chiron's dash is so.
Yeah, Serket's one. Give me Freya's one. Give me Chiron's dash on that melee god, and then give me Chernobog ult. Just let me run around the map, dude. I'm chilling.
Just be fucking everywhere, up in everyone's shit.
Yep, that's what I want. I keep asking. I want a new assassin that has mobility. They put like Pele in. No mobility on Pele. Yeah. You have to ult. I forgot who they put in before that. It was someone else very, very mobile.
Who was the last assassin before that? Dodgy?
Was it Dodgy? Yeah, Dodgy, where your movement's like not true movement. Like you have to hit somebody or your own teammate. Mm-hmm. I just want another Serket type god in the game. I want something that can jump over walls, it can move around. That's just like that's my bread and butter. That's what I love to play, and they haven't put another one in forever.
I think it'd be interesting if they did something like an assassin who had 4 movement abilities, relatively low damage, right? So, and work the damage into the kit through other ways. But, I mean, a character that's literally designed just to run across the map as fast as possible would be interesting.
It would be interesting if they, I think, in the current game and meta and map, I personally don't think it would be successful just because you can rotate so quickly right now. Especially if you already know where someone's going, you're warding correctly, and you're just following. It'd be really fun to move around the map, crazy speed. You'd have to have low mana cost on the abilities, but you have to kill people fast too for it to be valuable.
Yeah,
what's a ward?
It's those things that people place in the middle of the arena in Assault, right?
We had that in Assault the other day. Oh my goodness! I wanted to smack the guy. I'm like, really? Because now we're just going to hear dink, dink. Dink the whole fucking time that damn thing's up. You better. Oh, he did buy 2. Damn it.
Oh yeah, he bought one every time he went back too. He bought them every time. He's like, we need wards. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Good lord.
We were playing 12-year-olds that game, but we won. So my plan was, all right, you put that ward there. We're fighting up in front of that. Fuck the dinking.
All right, next one we got is from Cinderwild. She says, "What's something about you that you feel you don't get to show the Smite community?"
Oh man, getting personal and emotional and shit.
That's
I'd
deep.
say I end up helping more people in ways that nobody knows. Like I don't talk about this stuff a lot because I don't care, but someone in my community tweeted that they weren't gonna be able to pay their bills. They were gonna have to sell their computer, so I sent them $500. I said, what's your PayPal? Send him $500. My thumbnail editor messaged me, was like, you got extra work? I'm having money issues. I sent him $250 and was like, just pay me back or let me pay it off through thumbnails over the course of time. Like I do stuff outside of money in person. I'll help people as much as I can. That's kind of, I have a persona almost on stream where a long time ago I played up the whole I'm a dick type thing for a very long time. I still like playing it up. It's fun. It's way more enjoyable than just being Mr. Nice Guy all the time. But in person, I'm not super like, I'm not an outgoing person. I'm down to just sit inside, down to stick to myself, not be the center of attention. And if I see somebody that needs help, I'm more than likely helping them. I'm the person who holds the door for everybody. I'm like the way that I am seen online compared to like the way my family sees me is a polar opposite. And I enjoy it. I think it's funny. But my mom hates it. My mom fucking can't stand it. Like the first 2 years of me doing this, she's like, how can you stand like everyone looking at you like this, and this? And it's the idea that any press is good press is very, very true. I'd rather be hated by half the community and loved by the other half than not talked about at all. And I played that up drastically to start a following because that was maybe not the easiest or quickest way, but it was a very successful way that nobody had done yet.
Yeah, Dan can tell you because I pull his line out. I always joke and the people around me that I'm the nicest asshole you'll ever meet.
Hey, yeah. Dude, that's, I mean, that's kind of how I am, man. If you piss me off, like in person, I'll be a dick. Like, I'm going to make you regret it. But if we're good, like, even, I don't know, like, me and Maddie Pocket had our issues for a long time, right? We'd see each other in person, and it was still, like we weren't dicks to each other. It's just, like you say your hey, and you drop it because you know, like, you have nothing good to say to each other. Whereas you run into somebody like DM Brandon, who, like, when I had my issues, I still have my issues with him. I don't like him, but that's another story. I saw him at like TwitchCon or something, and we walked by each other, and I said, "Hey," just because, like, even if you hate somebody, it's still like I'm not trying to be fake. I'm not trying to be best friends. I'm just like acknowledging that he's there, and he didn't say anything back. He just looked at me like it was mind blowing that I said something to him. So you can tell once you talk to people in person how they really are, and I really suggest that people don't judge what they see online on like YouTubers, streamers, even you guys on a podcast. Like, you guys might say something and like you don't need to look into it so much until you meet somebody in person. You don't know somebody until you're around them in person at all.
The answer, hell yeah. So the next one we got is from Kibo. It says, who is your favorite god aesthetically?
Oh, dude. My favorite everything is Serket, the Madame Blade skin. That's my favorite skin in the game. I think it looks perfect. I think it's clean. It doesn't have too much shit going on it. The abilities look good, and her titties are fucking huge. So she's easy to like sell and push to people. Like, if I threw that on a thumbnail on a YouTube video, it's getting 40,000 views. Like, it's the perfect skin.
Yeah, my wife would agree. She loves steampunk and that whole aesthetic. She wants to do that as a cosplay. I have to build the tail one of these months.
Oh shit. Someone did that not too long ago. It's really cool, the stuff you like. If you take a good skin from any game or a good looking god in any game, you can make stuff look awesome in person.
Yeah, I'm sourcing the pneumatic cylinders because it's gonna move. Because
it's gonna move on its own. Okay, yeah. That's fucking insane. So I gotta see this.
I'm a machinist, and I do a lot of like RC stuff. So yeah, it'll probably end up with a remote and either through electronic servos and push-pull rods, it's probably going to have independent movement.
All right, and my question is, why didn't you have this ready and at Worlds?
I don't get to. They moved it up 2 months, and I won't be able to make it this year.
Oh, GG, dude.
And also, I mean, when you look at build time, material costs, I mean, the tail is probably going to be $1,000.
Holy fuck!
I mean, you're talking like computer integrated. Like, not like super heavy, you need a processor or anything, but you're still having to wire, you need control boards for the cylinders, the wireless remote, the battery, trying to keep weight down, what's your material.
That is wild. That's some commitment, dude. $1,000 into the tail. And I know how hard it is.
Well, the rest of it's easy.
Dude, it's easy, but it still takes forever. Like, that shit doesn't, it's not like, it's not like, let me just super glue this to this and I'm done. Like, people, like, that's insane, man. I could never do that.
Yeah.
All right, next one we have is from, I love the names, the Poopy Shoes. Where do you think your own greatest strength and weaknesses as a jungler lie?
Stuff has changed over the years, man. I'd say when we first started, I could process the game faster than everyone else. Like overall, not just for myself, but like as a team, like what we needed to be doing, what was a good fight, stuff like that. I'd say now I always know how small engagements are gonna go. So most small engagements that are my decision and like planned by me are always won. In team fights, I've taken a backseat. So I wouldn't say it's one of my strengths. I'd say that's something I'm working like. It will be my strength. When we make worlds, everyone will see like how much stuff has changed for me. Whereas I play way more for the carry, way more like you see a lot of junglers played. Not necessarily like as an individual, like it's all about me and I'm just doing my own thing. But I do a lot more without having to follow what the team's doing. You'll see me farming on my own a lot more. You'll see me playing like a true jungler who's not building full tank now. And I think I'm very good at it. I just need the time to show everybody, which is what I want to do at this next LAN.
Hell yeah. All right, from the other JTG, what is your favorite troll pick for the jungle?
Oh, favorite right now. And it used to be Scylla. I love Scylla out of the jungle. She's so fast and mobile, and if you get like a chain of ults going, it just feels really good. I'd say probably that, or maybe Hou Yi, because bounces just feel so fucking good. It's not even a matter of like the god feels good. It's like each god has one ability that when it goes right, there's nothing that compares to it. So like I can't play those gods normally. I'll go into a casual and play them, and they become the best troll gods for me.
Godzilla jungle, no.
Godzilla.
God monster
that last night, didn't you?
Oh God, don't talk about it.
Yeah, he did.
I got pushed behind so quick, and it was over. I did get like a triple with my ult, though. It worked.
But yeah, that's the troll part about that. Is just you're in lane and you hear "I'm a monster," and you're like, "Shit, I'm in trouble."
The next one we have is from Bradicals. How did you end up getting into Smite?
So my like video game story was didn't have like any multiplayer game, anything. Started playing Halo. Halo 2 came out, played Halo 2 online. That was when I talked my family into getting internet. From Halo from Halo 2 moved to World of Warcraft, which is when I built my first gaming computer. Didn't buy a pre-built, which was an interesting process. And then we played WoW for years, man. I think I played WoW until, in this time I was playing Call of Duty. I was playing other shooters, but WoW was like my main game until I went to college. In college, I still played every now and then, and it started to get really boring. And you know how you just play the shit out of one of your games. It gets to a point where it's old, and you're just always looking for that next game. We were like that for like 2 years, like looking for that next game. My friend that I play with all the time, he found Smite. We tried it. We duo laned before jungling was a thing, so it was a 2-1-2 meta, and we got fucked up. We ran like Ymir Hercules with no clue what was going on. Got fucking shit on, and we were both like, yeah, this game's trash. Like, fuck this game. I'm not playing anymore. Both uninstalled it. Went back to playing World of Warcraft. After like a month, it got to the point where you're like, screw this. This is dumb. At the same time, if you guys know Shing, he was in Smite from the time it was created. He was a pro player for a little while. He was a streamer for a little while. He played World of Warcraft on our server. Same server as us. We were Horde. He was Alliance. So we played against him all the time.
It was a love story.
Oh, we played against him all the time. We whooped his ass. We hated him. We fucking hated him, dude. So when we found out he was good at Smite, in my head, it's like, dude, I shit on this kid in World of Warcraft all the time, and he's one of the best in this game. Like, I will be the best. Like, I'm already the best in my eyes. So we put aside the fact that we didn't like it the one time. We re-downloaded it, started grinding. And my progression from like not understanding the game to top of ranked was a very it's probably not normal for most people like without super big MOBA backgrounds to do what I did. I played all day, I looked at shit all day, I learned all day, and that's where Smite became my thing.
I miss the WoW days. There was so many people that left the Alliance and came join the Horde and be like, can I be in your guild? And I'm like, why? Because we're so tired of losing to you. Yeah, well, who are you? Oh, yeah, you're actually pretty good. There was one rogue in particular that I was a rogue and she was a rogue, and every time we fought, it was a tooth and nail battle, but I won every time. And just, we were grinding up through the levels in Battlegrounds, and it was around, mid-30s. I get this whisper, and she's like, hey, I'm joining with you guys. I'm like, why? And she's like, because you kick my ass every time, and I need to start winning, and I figured if I can't beat them, I'm going to join them. And she actually turned out to be one of the better mages in our guild then.
Fried Chicken. That was her name.
Yep, Fried Chicken.
Oh, what a name.
All right, next one we got is from Yo, No Big Deal. How much do you think your experience with sports like basketball help your teamwork and shot calling in Smite?
When I first started playing basketball, I played on 2 to 3 teams at the same time, all the time. We were I was really heavy into it. Like I love basketball. I was planning on playing on college and shit. I was on a team where I don't remember if someone just aged out, because back then you're 12, you move up to the higher fucking age. But the point guard, who in basketball is usually your team leader, everyone follow, it's who you follow. He left, so I ended up being the one who needed to play that position, and I was scared as fuck. Talking 10 years old, having to be a leader of a team. I didn't want to do that shit. I just want to play basketball. I had a coach who played professional football. His name was his last name is Elam. It's Anzi Elam, I think was his name. He was our coach, and he basically pulled me aside. I was like, look, you have to do this. You're the only person that can do this. You have to do it. So I kind of just nutted up, started being that person, and I grew into it over the course of 2 years, and then that's followed me ever since. I've always been I could never imagine shout out to people who love to do this and have those jobs. I don't think I could work for somebody. I can't stand it. It's not that I have to I need to be in charge of everything, but I like being in control of what's going on and making decisions for the overall, because I feel usually my decisions are actually good. They're right. So I think that's where it all started, and then now it's just built up to a point where I will follow people if that's the way it has to go, but I'd much prefer to be the one making all the decisions, shot calling and Smite, that kind of stuff.
Hell yeah. All right, well, the next one we got is kind of maybe a little toughy here. Red Danger 95 wants to know the biggest reason LG is not doing well this season.
Oh, rough, man.
Yeah.
I would say a lot of it stems from picks and bans. Our scrim picks and bans are really good. We'll talk about the way something should go, and then in the SBL game, it'll go in and we'll fucking pick and ban bad. We'll do something literally we had one game. We lost at the end of it. I was like, didn't we say we were definitely not going to do this, whether it was ban a god or we were definitely not going to invade this buff? And then we did it in the game and everyone's like, yeah. I'm like, we're fucking stupid, dude. We literally just said not to do it. And it's not the same consistent problem every game, but it's those kind of things where if you look at games, a lot of the games are good games. They're close games, and you'll see one thing go wrong and it'll just snowball too hard. And I think that's our biggest issue. I think that's something we've worked on a lot, and we've started to play a lot better in terms of just not making those little mistakes. Sure, we still lose games, we still make some mistakes, but the ones that were obvious and we shouldn't be doing, the dumb picks, the letting Chernobog through or letting Freya through because we think we could beat it, we were being stubborn. That's the problem. That's why we were losing, and that's the things we want to have gone, and we have a lot of it gone for this land.
Oh, yeah. All right, next one we have is from Javels for Scrubs. It says, what do you do in the event that one or more lanes have lost lane or pressure and your jungle is empty? It happens to me occasionally, and I get a lot of abuse from other players telling me to stop mooching their waves, and I fall behind.
You tell them to smell your balls, man. A lot of it, I mean, your team's going to fuck you over. It's going to happen game to game. Your side lanes are all going to lose. Your mid lane's going to get out pressured. You kind of have to take it into your own self to start invading and looking for their stuff. If they're doing your blue buff, that means nobody's at their back camp. So go look and see if they're up. Go try and get them. If you get to a point where you're just standing under your tower getting fucked, the game's over. At that point, you might as well be like, damn, this sucks, and just not rage about it, not freak out about it, not overthink it. Just be like, this is what happened. Too bad. On to the next game.
That's a weird thing.
No, go ahead. You're good.
That's a weird thing. I don't, because we play as a group so often that we don't run into as much. Like a lot of times it's, hey Dan, help me come clear this wave, or it'll be, hey guy, you're here, help me clear the wave. And like literally, it's like let's clear the wave and go do our thing. Whereas like Dan will be getting my blue buff, and I'm like, yeah, just help me clear this wave real quick. Like I don't think we think about that. You're leeching my XP or anything. It's a lot of like, we're working as a group. Help me clear this wave. That gives us that little bit of pressure, and we can go do something.
Yeah, it's a mindset or a knowledge thing, right? Like you make it to me. You just said it, your all's mindset is you're playing a team game. You want to win the game. At the same time, there's another way to look at it, and it's like actual factual like numbers. If you are splitting, it's actually better. You're both get like that. It's not 100. It's not 50-50. It's 60-60. So instead of you guys splitting that 10 gold and it's 5-5, it's actually you're both getting 6-6. Like you're getting more out of it. So splitting is really good in small amounts and over the course of the game. And a lot of players that play Smite don't have that information, and they don't have that mindset you guys have, and they can ruin the game for people. They can make it very rough. My advice is to ignore them when you know you're right. Like if you watch my stream and I say something, I'm not telling you bullshit. Like I'm telling you something that's going to make you better. So if you go into a game and someone tells you I'm wrong, just ignore them. Just do the things that you see better players doing, and you'll enjoy yourself a lot more.
Yep. And if you're into it, read the Word of Thoth. I read it again like last week.
All right, the next one we have is from Purple Pimp. And actually, we have a lot of these too, so this will be the only one that you hear. It says 667 how.
Dude. Oh, man. I actually love... At this point, I don't love explaining it, but I just love the whole, like, everything that came of it. The fact that we're, like, 4 years later and everyone still knows it and still talks about it. I think a lot of people need to take a look. I even reviewed the game. I went back on my YouTube and I watched the game and talked over it. And if you look at it, yeah, I did 667 damage up to 18 minutes, but we were getting fucked. Like, as a team, we were down, like, 18 kills to none. Like... Jungle was invaded by 5 people. It was just us getting fucked. Like, the game was not... It's not like, oh, Cyclone was 8-0 and I lost us the game because I didn't know damage. It was... Nothing was happening. We picked really bad. We had, like, Afro mid with Odin. Like, what the fuck were we gonna do, dude? Like, I was gonna jump on them and they were gonna run away? Like, no, they didn't give a shit. They just ran at us. It's funny. It's troll. But then at the same time, you've got... There's a lot of pro players that have done a lot worse than that over the last 4 years, and they're not talked about because I guess I was the first and I played it up so much because I thought it was pretty funny. It was a good marketing thing. But I mean, shit happens. Like, if people come to my stream and like be malicious about it, and they'll give me shit, and I'll be like, look, let me see your games. Let me see your history. Let me go look at your shit. Like, you think I'm not going to find something that's as bad or worse? Like, and then they shut up. They just stop talking. Because it's really easy to make fun of somebody from the outside, but as soon as you're in the spotlight, you just shut up. I just think it's funny, and I can handle it. Whereas other players, there's a lot of pro players that might have happened, and it could have caused them to quit or disappear or just play worse. So in the end, I'm not glad it happened to me, but it's okay that I'm the one that has to deal with it.
Yeah, dude, embrace it, man. I mean, it happened. You can't go back and change it. Might as well embrace it.
No, man.
I always
go ahead.
I always like seeing on your YouTube videos and in the stream where, like, if you guys get to 5K, I'll get the 667 tattoo and all that. That was funny.
Hey, people brought it up. I was like, you're never going to hit these goals. Like, low-key, I know I'm not getting this tattoo, but it would be hilarious if I had to. I wouldn't even do that.
And it would have been great for your revenue as well if you did hit that goal. So it's like both ways going.
See, and if that had happened, I'd have done it at Worlds and had like it recorded and shit and made a big deal out of it. It would have been fun.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. Next one we have is from Mr. Easy E. He says, what do you think about the current state of the game?
I talked about this a little while ago. I think Smite's the best gameplay wise and just overall, like, there's so many gods you can play. I think it's the best it's ever been since literally the start of the game. You see streamers and you see all these people being negative, like, oh, I hate this, I hate that, and I really do not agree. I've played this game as long as anybody, and I'm telling you right now, the game is so much more fun than I think it's ever been. Definitely more fun than Season 4 and 3. Season 3 and 4 were stale. boring, repetitive. The changes they were making weren't doing anything. And you look back at this year and you see like Freya got an almost rework that people really didn't talk a lot about and has been the top god in 2 roles. Like that shit doesn't like when has that happened? When have you had someone get overall changed to become a consistent god for a long period of time, gotten some slight nerfs and still be strong? And there's just there's so much right now. There's so much in Smite, so much content, so much shit to do, so much to play, so many gods. I don't know how you can't like the game.
So what you're saying is dirty bubble meta was not the best.
Bro, I mean, I was in like season 2, I was one of the people who promoted like the tanky builds because I thought it was awesome. And then as you play it more, that shit is not fun. That is not enjoyable. The one-shot builds, that's the stuff that really will make you keep coming back to the game. Dirty bubble build, man. I tried that again on Alquam the other day, and I won the game, but not playing that shit again.
It's like it felt so dirty.
All right, next one we have is from Kriegel. Says, can you stop uploading meme builds because the shit ends up on Smitefire, which is a pain in the ass for the moderation team.
Alright, look, if your ass is on Smitefire, you're already fucked up, dude. You're already in the wrong place at the wrong time, dude.
You see some crazy shit on Smitefire. There's a reason Double J just meme videos on Smitefire builds.
I get, like, it does happen occasionally, but people forget that while, yeah, I have an Erlang build where I went full attack speed, I also have a video that says, this is the best build, here is why. So, I mean, I'm going to have fun with the game, of course, and if your friends or your people who play at your level don't want to play the right shit, that's not my problem.
Hey, speaking of videos, I got a little bone to pick with you.
All right, let's hear it.
When are those top 5 videos coming out, man? I've been looking forward to them.
I have to re-record them. I haven't done it yet, but if you aren't, a lot of you guys have no idea about this. So YouTube has been really shitty over the last 2 years with their just basically how they're paying people, how people are getting their ad rates and shit. It all happened when people realized that there was like terrorists and stuff who had ads on their videos. So it was a big stink where people that had their ads on YouTube pulled out. So instantly there's less money involved. So YouTube tries to automate a lot of this stuff and it'll go in. It doesn't happen as much now. It's actually really rare now. But my shit will get flagged. It'll say, this can't be these can't be monetized. You can't make money off of this. And you can go in and you can manually get a manual review. Someone will apparently look through it and they declined it again. Even though these videos, I'm like, are way easier and way less bad than all my other videos. I don't cuss as much. I'm not talking about random shit. I'm literally just saying like, this god's good, this god's bad, here's why. So I don't know what the fuck happened, but I was hoping the manual review would fix it. And then I sent an email. I was hoping that would fix it. It didn't. So we're going to re-record them and hopefully they'll be the same. They'll probably be better because I think I forgot to do the counter matchups in both or the last 3 videos. They'll probably end up being better in the long run. I just haven't had time to do it yet.
Yeah, I know anytime I watched an ISIS video, it's like, oh shit, this ain't gonna be monetized.
No, I can't post an ISIS video. I literally can't do it. I can't post, like, my shit is like the god's name and then a title and then Smite. And if ISIS is in the god's name, in the title, it's instantly can't make money.
Yeah, you just need to start calling it She Who Must Not Be Named.
It's a good idea.
The god that is, if she is, and if you add those together.
Yeah, I'm like, and I get what they're going for, but you look at it, especially with ISIS, and you're like, you know she's been around longer than them, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, moving on.
The next one we got is from Yanniverse, and I'm not sure if you're in anime, but they want to know what your favorite anime is.
Yeah, no, dude. My whole chat is about anime. They fucking spam me with that shit. I have emotes because they cry about it when I didn't have them. I can't do it. I can't watch them, man. I've tried. People like, these are ones like, they know me as a person. They know the shit I like. Like, if you like anime, you'll like this or you like this one. I've tried watching them and I can't stand it. I literally can't stand it. I think it kind of like, it's different because you're reading subtitles or whatever. But I hate when shit is off sync. Like if I watch a movie, I definitely don't do this. I've never watched illegal movies, never ever. But I watch a movie online and like the voice is off a little bit, I have to turn it off. Like I can't watch it. Mm-hmm. triggers me to a point where I can enjoy it. And I think it's not the exact same, but I think that's part of it. I think I just can't. It just bugs me. Like, it makes me anxious. I can't stand it.
All right. Jack90 wants to know, when you're a Merc, what does it say? When you're a Merc main, yet feed with him in SPL, how does it feel? Ouch.
Dude, my paychecks are fat at the end of every month. So it feels really fucking good, dude. I make more money doing this shit than I could have in any single job coming out of school. So at the end of the day, well, yeah, it's not the best way to look at it. I always have that to fall back on. Might have a shitty game, might be last place in the SPL, still better than everyone else, and still getting paid to play.
Feels good. Hell yeah. All right, next one we got is from Reddit Dan. He says, when is the DM Brandon roast video going to come out? There's so much to work with.
Dude, somebody feeds me a fails video, a highlight video of his fails. I'm down, dude. I'll do it for anybody. Even myself. Go through and make a fail video, all the fail highlights of me, and I'll do it. Anybody.
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
That's the Smite's kind of not fallen off in terms of content creators, but all of those people who used to go in for streamers and do that stuff do not do it on their own anymore, which is super sad. But that's why, like, I did the Gucci roast video. It was very easy to do another one because there was that much content. But like, there's no more of him. There's no one else. Like, I've gone on stream in queues and been like, all right, can we find a Barracuda fail video? Nope. They're all like funny moments and stuff, which is cool, but like, I don't want to watch that shit. I don't care that Barracuda hit a 360 ROM ult. Like, it's awesome, but I played the game for 6 years. I've seen that shit. I want to see where Barracuda back rolled into the wrong fucking tower and died to someone who was 8 levels ahead of or something. Like, I want to see the shit I can make fun of and everyone will enjoy.
I can clearly say that I've run into an enemy tower for protection already.
Hey, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
I didn't know I had gotten spun around. It just happened, you know, and I backed into the tower. I'm like, why the hell is this shooting me? Like, what the hell's way to go, Smite? And I'm like, oh, no, never mind.
Beagle walked into the wrong fountain on Arena one time.
Oh, yes, I did that before.
That's
my
awkward.
God.
I'm not gonna lie, that is awkward.
The next one we have is from Zephyr. He says, when are we going to see a Geb Jungle in the SPL?
I'd literally rather do a lot of terrible things to myself than ever do that. Man, so many things.
Loki main before Geb Jungle.
I'd rather my whole team be Loki than one SPL game of Geb.
All right, next one we have is from Frost Horizons. It says, what do players do when they hit a roadblock and just don't seem to be improving?
That a lot of people come to me with that question. It's kind of hard. Is like, in reality, that happens in real life with stuff, and you go to a class or you go to a coach. It sure costs money, but if you're that interested in getting better at something, you end up paying somebody to just directly help you in some way. And like, I do coaching, some other people do coaching occasionally, but it's not really common. So I think if you're literally at a roadblock, it's some people will be mechanically, like, some people just aren't that great at video games. Like, it's gonna happen, and you might just have to accept that and start playing the game for more fun at that point. But usually you're still making mistakes, especially in a game like Smite. If you're playing Conquest, you're making consistent, repetitive mistakes, and you have to go find them. Watch your own gameplay. Find the things that you're doing wrong and figure out how, like if you're consistently going to this bat camp and you're red spawning and your team is losing red every game you're in, then you're fucking up. Like, you're doing something wrong, so change it. Realize, like, this is what I did wrong. I'm never going to do it again. Like, that's how I slowly grew and got better at the game. So that's what I recommend.
All right. Well, I cut the next person's name off. I apologize. But we got the question anyways. Did you enjoy the way the Pro League was handled this year, and what are your biggest hopes for the pro scene regarding Season 6?
Oh, man, dude. It's so... There's so much we're not allowed to say and talk about just because it's all behind the scenes and we're not in charge type shit. I'd say overall, obviously, if you look at it in a way you're not being greedy, this shit's amazing, right? Like, everyone's getting salary. Everyone's making money. We're playing video games for a living. It's awesome. Like it's I'm always going to ask for more. I'm always going to try to find ways to get more because that's how I am. But if you take a step back, I'd say I'm very happy with everything. There's obviously things I would change. Like for the salary, it's cool, but in the end, like me as a person, I'm not making that much more now because we don't have lots of lands with lots of winnings. I don't know if they've announced Worlds winnings yet, but I'm assuming, just like the last couple of years, they're probably not going to be that crazy. So realistically, all the money is that salary money, and because I'm a streamer and I'm a YouTuber and I have a huge following, I can already negotiate that by myself. So it's better for everyone else, but for me, it's kind of like I'm just doing the same stuff because I love to do it. And they could change a lot more. They could change formats. I think next year we're going to see some pretty big changes. We literally don't have we don't know anything. We just know a lot of the ideas that are coming up. And if any of them are implemented, I think it'll be exciting. It'll be different. And people won't have to complain as much with the format of, oh, I don't want to watch it on Mixer, or, oh, there's 8 games. Like there's 8 night, there's games every night. I don't watch Smite every night. Like I think it's gonna be a lot better next year.
Yeah. There's also rumors, obviously I don't know how true they are, but of maybe a third party sponsorship coming to the SPL, which would be interesting.
That literally is not stuff I'm on. I'm actually interested in what, not necessarily where you heard it, but what exactly did you hear? What's the rumor that's going on?
It's just there's gonna be for instance, when Razer sponsors Overwatch or something like that. Something like that
for me, since I've been to LANs and stuff, Hi-Rez always has some sponsor for the SPL, whether they're a main title sponsor or not is kind of the thing. You'll see, I forgot who it was, dude. It was headsets and stuff not too long ago, HyperX or somebody was last year or something.
Yeah,
that shit happens all the time, and that really doesn't mean anything. It's weird because I'm really not trying to be disrespectful to you guys, but you haven't made it to a pro level, right? And maybe from your end, if you found a game you loved, it's exciting. Oh, I might join a team. This is awesome. Once you've done it, you realize it's not that fucking awesome joining a team. It's not that awesome that somebody's sponsored by DX Racer, because that doesn't fucking matter for you. That's money for the org or money for just Hi-Rez. We're not gonna see that shit. So you have to be very my first time we joined. Oh man, Complexity. That was the first org we signed to, and we didn't sign for any money. And we thought it was the coolest thing ever because, hey, we were going to get Corsair keyboards. Nowadays, if you told me that shit, I'd tell you to fuck off. Even for people who have no following, don't stream. Say you take Mask, who doesn't stream at all, but he's a very good player. If some org came to him and offered him a low amount of money, you guys know minimum salary is $30K right now, right? So if someone went to him and he was like, hey, Weak3n, these guys are offering me $20K if there was no minimum salary, I'd be like, no, if you sign that, you're an idiot. And it's because these sponsors and shit don't mean anything for you. It's actually just what's on your contract, what that dollar amount is. MLB players sign for millions and millions of dollars, and people try to give them shit for it. Oh, well, why would you sign him for $100 million? That's bullshit. That's literally what your job is as a pro player, is to negotiate that dollar amount, because there is nothing else that matters other than you performing and that amount you're getting paid.
Yeah, and where I was going with this is also, if you look at it from a league perspective, the reason I thought that's interesting, and not necessarily here's your Corsair keyboard, all this stuff is, but the next step is to entice more teams and everything to start competing. Is I was hoping that maybe next year or a year after we'd start seeing the sponsors like a Razer or something like that, big name sponsor, sweetening the prize pools for the lands and worlds and all that.
I think that would be awesome, but I don't think that's ever going to happen. I don't know who's in charge or who's making the decisions for money, but there was a crowdfunding, right? I don't remember what the number got up to. I don't think it shows. Does it show in Smite anymore? Do you guys know? At one point it was showing how much was raised. I'm pretty sure that shit's not going towards PC Smite, or I don't know where the fuck the shit's going. So I highly doubt they're gonna ever sign a contract with Razer or with Corsair or with, I don't know, someone like Samsung or LG, and they're gonna be like, yeah, we want you to increase our prize pool. Because from a player's point of view, and as someone who's I talk to the org owners. I know how shit works. It really feels like Hi-Rez is only worried about themselves and how everything's going to work out, and that they're pulling in the money. That's my personal
and they're a
opinion.
business, so
I mean, yeah, it makes sense. Like, obviously they should be, but at the same time, like, when you're on the other end, you're the player, you want that prize pool to be $2 million. You don't want it to be going down. Last year it went down to like 700K or something. Like, I don't, like, that's, like, yeah, I get it. You have to put your money elsewhere. A lot of shit's being paid for. We have salaries now, but, like, still doesn't look good, and it doesn't feel good to be competing for less than originally, you know?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're starting to run a little bit long on time. We still actually have quite a few questions left, so I'm going to just kind of pick and choose a few of the good ones here. So I apologize to those out there that we weren't able to get asked in here, but the next
we promise
one
this is a feature.
Yeah. Well, hey, this is the first time that we've just had way too many questions to ask. So, that in itself is kind of a cool thing. But again, yeah, it is what it is, and we've had a lot of good answers. So, just want to pick a few out here yet that I thought were kind of pertinent. So I am Bleezes here. What would you say is the most important part of being a jungler? And we'll just leave it at that there.
You control the pace of the game. So, I mean, there's no, people will say, like, what's more important, ganking, farming, which do you do more? And it's a balance. Like, you control the pace of the game. So how you balance those two things is going to be what decides who's ahead, who's behind, and all that stuff. So there's really no one thing you prioritize. You need to know when you can gank a lane. You need to know when your buffs are coming up, and you need to know when you're ahead or behind and how to push that. And literally, it's experience. You learn that stuff from experience. There's no shortcut. You can see me do it one way in one game, and the next game it's going to be completely different. It'll be the same way for you.
All right. Next one up here, from Abnormal something or other, look like that, B. What do you pride yourself most on as a streamer / content creator? And don't just say entertaining.
I don't think I'm entertaining, which most people, like, when they're streamers, that's probably the first thing they think of. Like, yeah, people like me because I'm entertaining. I just like to help people with shit, no matter what it is. Like, I do it in Smite because that's what I'm technically one of the best at, and that's what people are going to ask me. But, like, when people come in and ask me for, like, relationship advice, like, yeah, I'm not a fucking professional, but I've gone through shit, and I like the fact that I can talk to somebody about the same stuff that they're going through that maybe I went through and make it easier for them. I actually really enjoy that aspect of streaming. You don't get that on YouTube, but on YouTube, I have the conversation with somebody on my stream, it goes to YouTube, and then my comments will be like, oh yeah, that happened to me, or oh yeah, I can relate to that, or oh, Weak3n, thanks for that, now I'm gonna go do this in real life. Like, that's what's a lot bigger to me than just the video game shit.
All right. Nut Kip here. How can you beat the enemy jungler when he is a higher level than you and absolutely stumping on your squishies?
Team fighting, man. If jungler's ahead, he's probably playing hyper aggressive. He'll probably dive. So stay together as 2, 3, 4 people and turn on his bitch ass, and he's dead. That happens in 99% of my rank games. If I, like, over the next week, I'm putting all rank games up, and I went through and looked through them. I was behind like 5 to 10k gold in almost every game. Like, not me personally, like our team was. And we want to win a fight off of the jungler being huge, or the mid laner being huge and just being too aggressive, thinking they can do more damage than they can. And you turn and you can insta kill somebody no matter how much bigger they are than you, as long as it's not a tank.
All right. Our good old buddy Dicey Victory chiming in here off the Twitter. How do you sleep at night when you have to carry racing?
Dude,
you must have a good chiropractor.
Yeah, you cut him out, man. That's what you do. You say, all right, Wraith, I know you want to play today, but guess what? I'm playing ring from now on. Fuck you. Nah, man. Playing with him is fun. Like, being able to play with your real life friends. Like, I met him through games, but being able to play with those people, whether they're great or average or good, I don't know. It's just enjoyable. We have a friend. You watch my stream, I'll talk about him every once in a while. His name was Treadstone, and not to be super mean, he's never been good at any game. Like even in the remotest sense, like, he's just not great at games, but he's super fun to play with just because we know him. We can bullshit with him. We can talk trash and he'll talk it back. And just being able to play with those people, whether you carry them or not, like, you just have to look past that and just enjoy yourself.
All right. Last question here from Zach 1024th Anderson.
Jesus.
Interesting name.
It's a political thing, right? We need to know when the Weak3n announcer pack is coming. It needs to happen.
I can't make it happen.
Yeah.
That's all the community needs to go rage at high res because I don't think I'm gonna be getting shit. I'll tell you right now, the one they made for Barracuda and Jeff is terrible. It's embarrassing
Nice.
for me to know that like high res made that for them. I would love to go in and do a voice pack. I would. Oh, it would be amazing. It would be awesome.
All right. I'll give you my little key to making a good voice pack is you better make the damn Quadra and Pentakill exciting.
Oh yeah, no, dude.
Yeah.
Pentakill.
There's so many voice packs where it's like Pentakill.
Yeah, Pentakill.
I hate
What the
that.
fuck was that?
Quadrikill. Dude, nah, I'd be
That's-
war crying on a pentakill, fucking jumping up and down. My mic will be hitting the wall.
Dude, that's why I always have used Inuki's voice pack since
Yes.
the time I got it. Like, since the day I got it. I was like, dude, this is hype as shit. I love this.
I know, and it keeps popping up in my daily bundle right now. I'm about to spend 650 gems just for that.
You do it.
Like,
Do it.
all right, man. Well, hey, really, really enjoyed having you on the show here. So, why don't I'm sure most people know where to find you, but why don't you give a shout out where people can track you down and get a hold of you at?
Weak3n everywhere. Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. Just type in Weak3n, it'll be the first thing that comes up. Been around the block for a while, so you'll find me.
Yeah, high five. How about yourself, Yuki?
You can find me at Rikotse_Yuki on Twitter, and the same thing for PlayStation 4. Hit us up. Let's play some games. I will never be as good as him, but I can always make fun of Dan for you.
That's true.
Yes, you can. Speaking of Dan, how about yourself?
You can find me on Twitter at Split Push Podcast with no A because it was too long. Feels bad there. You can find me on PS4 at DirtXNapXDan, and I'm grinding my PC account up so I can start playing ranked on there. That's DirtNapDan with no extra characters in between.
Beagle?
You can find me on Twitter at Beagle_Girl27 or hit me up on PS4 at Beagle_Girl2780. Send me a message and I might accept you and we can play some games.
I might accept you and give you hugs.
You can find me at G Smitey on Twitter. You can find me on PlayStation at GuyAJ78, but not for too long. And then you can find me on Xbox at GuyAllSmitey.
Got that fateful name change coming. Super
That
excited
name
for that.
change going on Sony. Shit is ridiculous.
Coming soon. All right, you can find good old Dirt Naps Dad here at Dirt_Naps_Dad on PlayStation and Twitter. Add the _PS4 and you can find me on Twitch as well. I'm getting to a pretty good point now. If I'm going to be playing more than a couple games, just turning the damn thing on and getting it out there. And you can find most of us here from Split Push out there having some fun, sometimes yelling at each other and sometimes yelling at each other more. But, other than that, you know how it is when it comes to dirt naps. You got to give them before you take them. And when all else fails,
Fucking
Split
Split
Push.
Push.